Then let's go live. We may be there already. They're just not showing it. Hello, everyone. Sorry for the semi-late entrance. We were trying to be fashionable and shit.
Live.
Live.
Oh,
Welcome in, one and all.
I am there.
And while I'm at it, we'll send that out. And we'll tweet that. So that way everybody knows. Oh, dang. Sting in New Japan. Wow.
Oh, dang,
What?
there we are.
Box top Sting. Wow. That was my favorite.
Yeah, Sting can't make it in Japan no more.
Nah.
He'll
not
get
now.
murdered.
Not now. I love Stinger, but no, not now. It's just it ain't gonna work like that. Bum 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 bum.
Mr. Sandman.
Yeah.
Bring
me
a
a dream. See, if this podcast
Making
shit don't
pictures.
work out, we're gonna become a group. We're gonna sing a cappella.
A barbershop trio.
Making
you know
the
what? You know what?
cutest that I've ever seen. Bum,
I got the
bum, bum,
perfect friend to make it a
bum.
quartet. I got a coworker who's been dying to start a barbershop quartet.
Oh no, not one of
Oh,
them.
yes.
Oh no.
Maybe this way I'll get him to watch the show.
Okay, so I'm thinking
Jose's here. No shit.
all right.
What up, hobo clown?
Hobo Clown Kirby. What's
Oh,
up,
dang.
guys?
Soulmate.
I don't want to shut my mouth. That's the whole point of having a podcast. I can talk all I want. La, 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 la,
We do
la. I'm
all
saying
the
nothing
talking.
and it's being recorded. Na, 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 boo, boo.
We're unstoppable.
We do what
Absolutely. I feel like Adam Sandler in The Wedding Singer. Well, I have a microphone, which means you'll listen to every word I say.
we want. I love that fucking movie.
Me too, bro.
I was watching it last week. I freaking love it so much.
I
be
watched
fair,
it like
He's
2
losing
weeks
his
ago.
mind.
Every time Billy Idol's on the plane, I mark out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, it's not even a closet thing. I'm a Billy Idol fan. I've always have been since I was like a little psycho. Like that dude, fucking great. Anyway,
I think my mom had a Billy Idol vinyl when I was a kid.
I still have Billy Idol vinyls like right over here.
Well, yeah, I mean, as who doesn't, honestly, at this point.
If you can't listen, if you can listen to Rebel yell and not get hyped, I don't know, something's wrong with you. You need counseling. Or Jesus, or both. I don't know, but something's wrong with you.
My dad would always
shit.
crank up the volume when that song came on. So there'd be like little 5-year-old Wendy
White
in the
wedding.
station wagon just screaming her head off.
Okay, yeah, I feel that. Of course, this is the perfect time to run out of drink right as I go up.
Of course.
Fuck. Okay, give me like 8
I
seconds
got
because I'm in
plenty
the
of hydration.
Yeah, I need to get hydrated. Hold up.
The jug is empty.
Oh no! Now your husband's gonna have to pick that up.
Nah, it'll probably be me. I was kind of picking up around here the other day. I found like 8 of those jugs. I was like, why do I have 8 of these? Why?
Because you misplaced one and then you buy another one.
It's like a jug a day, man. It's disturbing.
What are you talking about? Water or
just
vodka?
Either or, you know, depends. Am I
Well,
working from home?
why not both?
Exactly.
It just depends on where you're
I have
working.
an assortment of fluids. We're good.
I just texted Jose, can I trouble you for a small glass of ice? Like, I know you're in the other room, so can you do me a favor?
Can you hook me up, please? I got headphones in.
Yeah.
Okay, so I figure with the intro being what it is today, I'll just play it and say something about Pat, and then I'll kick it to Brucey, and he can do our usual.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sound good?
All right.
Okay. Well then, let me hit this button here, and then we're going to bring this dude up. Just sad. All right, fuck. Let's do this. All right, welcome in, boys and girls. And I figured before we got the festivities rolling, we might as well take the time to acknowledge and say rest in peace to a true legend, the first intercontinental champion ever, Pat Patterson. I mean, I know he got a lot of I know he caught a lot of flack for being Vince McMahon's stooge for like 30 years, but this guy is
Among other
truly
things.
a pioneer, like first champ, first WWE employee to come out as gay, not be outed, come out. Like on a reality show too on the WWE network. Like that balls grande. And we of course found out he passed earlier this week. I only hope that at least they end up burying Pat with that intercontinental title that he was holding since the man pretty much founded it. And we only hope that his family and friends can, find a way to move past this. Not tragedy, definitely. I mean, when you're 79, it's not exactly a tragedy, but still, I'm sure you're hurting out there. And we, from all of us, our condolences. Rest in peace, Pat. We love you. With that being out of the way, I am going to actually go plug my power cord back in, and Brucey is going to start the intro.
So yeah, we'll start the intros right now because we're not doing the video at this moment.
No.
So that's when I have to scroll up in the chat to find out what the hell's going on. I don't do that too often. I'm glad I did today.
Me too.
So I'm gonna come up with a new intro because 2 years, year, whatever. This one's getting old.
New year, new us.
Yes, new year, new us. 2020's over. I'll figure something out. I'll get a new one. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Not really, because we cuss a lot. So, not all ages.
Sorry,
Older.
Mom.
TV 14. Yeah. And
At least.
podcast 14.
Yeah.
We are Top Rope Wrestling Talk. And joining me tonight, right down on the bottom of the screen, is none other Miss Latina Heat, the first lady of Top Rope Wrestling Talk, Grandma Wendy.
And the woman that was formerly known as Baby Yoda, but that's a whole different story.
Hey.
And right over this way, on this side, right there, that way, is none other than the producer himself, soundboard extraordinaire, the jack of all trades, the master of zero, Dom.
That's the fact, Jack. That's the fact, Jack.
That ain't it. Shit.
That's the wrong one, but hey, I like it.
But it worked.
It did. It worked.
I'm giving myself everything. Fuck it.
All of it. All of it.
The man
All
of
of
a
it.
thousand touches.
Yep. I'm the soundboard king, so I just gotta.
And me, I'm none other than the MJF Mark, the high class one, the MJF scarf wearing. I forgot that. The high class one, Bruce.
And he knows it.
Yes, I do.
See. Oh man, so I know Pat would want us to have fun with this week of wrestling, so we're gonna trudge on and just have a ball because there was a lot that happened. There was a lot that happened in one place in particular, and I feel like it's gonna take up most of this show. So we might as well just get to it because what's the point of beating around the bush?
Wow.
Winter is coming. The AEW Dynamite special last night. We had, I mean, just everything imaginable. Which let me just jump right in with the keep it or kill it, which I think I already know the answer to, but I'm gonna fucking say it anyway. Winter is Coming was a pay-per-view quality show on network TV.
Oh, keep it, my friend. Keep it hard.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Hard.
Hard.
I will give you my answer after this statement. What the fuck kind of question was that?
I know, right?
And keep
The
it.
dumbest ever. And yes, that's the only.
It's the only acceptable answer. Keep it.
It was.
If somebody kills it, they're just haters.
Yeah,
They're just
for real.
assholes.
There are no fanboys here. It not only was a pay-per-view quality, it was like big four pay-per-view quality with a crowd before pandemic. It was epic. I loved every second of it. I'll keep it 1,000 times over. Just
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
like so much so that I don't even know where to start. I guess we could probably jump in with. That was an awesome cookie, by the way.
It was.
I want one.
He's like staring hard at it, like
I'm
hello,
totally
cookie.
marking out about a show last night, and I'm about to say what happened. I'm like, oh, cookie. I'm
It's like,
5. I'm fucking 5.
oh,
But so is
not like
Wendy.
I'm any better over here.
I know. She's the enabler that is also 5.
I used to never eat on air, and then Wendy just started doing it
Right, rubbed
nonstop.
off
So
on you.
now it's like second nature for me. It's like,
exactly.
And
Oh,
yet
Wendy
here I
can
am
do
most
it. It's
shows not
okay.
eating.
It's what we do. We just eat on
I'm the
air.
only professional around this bitch. And I'm like, oh, cookie.
Apparently.
I want a cookie.
I want candy.
all right, Dom, what do you got for us, big dog?
All right,
Yeah, dude,
let's start off with what I don't even think it's arguably with what was the biggest moment of last night. The moment where the lights dropped, the moment where the stuff started playing in the background, you started seeing the little crows and you thought, wait. And all of a sudden, as the lights come up and the snow falls, out walks none other than the icon. The man, the myth, Sting. The Stinger popped up out of fucking nowhere.
What the fuck?
I lost my mind.
Mhm.
I seriously, I had to. My wife was putting my son to sleep, and she was just coming out of the room, and immediately I'm like, baby, come here, look at the TV, And she's like,
Recorder,
oh
tune
my
in for a
God,
second.
oh my God, it's Sting. And I'm like, good, I'm not hallucinating this. Thank you. Because I thought, what part of 2020, as bad as 2020 has been, but what part of 2020 has Sting shown up at a wrestling event, let alone Dynamite?
And signing a
Fuck!
multi-year
A
deal.
multi-year contract,
And then-
yes.
Yeah, and then immediately after like signing the multi-year deal, but before that, with Sting come out, kind of save Darby and Cody from Team Taz, and then there was that moment where he just locked onto Darby Allin, and I thought, oh, this is gonna be good, because I was waiting for Sting to just be like, hey, I see you up there in them rafters trying to be me. Guess what, son? You not. Granddad gonna have to take you to the fucking woodshed because you don't know shit. You think you're me cutting these bullshit videos from art school and doing all this stuff up in the crowd?
Nah, kiddo, nah.
Do you know what I had to go through to get to that point in my career? You've
Seriously.
been on TV for what, 10 months?
Here's the thing. Like Darby's got nothing on Sting. Sting was up in the fucking rafters, standing on like a 1 foot beam looking down. Darby's sitting in a chair at the top of a stadium. It was definitely Sting light.
He really was. I was saying that, even a few weeks ago, I was saying you got Darby up in the up in the stands pretending to be Sting, and then all of a sudden the real Sting showed up. You know that was a moment where Darby wished he wore the brown pants. That's all.
I can't help but wonder though, like, how much wrestling will he be doing? And if not a whole lot, what else will they be having him do? Like,
that's the biggest question I have is what is in the future for Sting, because we've seen this. We know he's signed. We know he sold more merch than anyone in AEW history in the 24-hour period, which is like, yeah, damn right, deserving, because you're a fucking icon. But it is what do we see Sting actually doing? Is he going to end up like managing, being a coach like Arn? Is he actually going to get in a ring? Because I know like Chris on Facebook wrote this huge thing out where he's like, you look at Daniels and you look at Jericho, you look at this guy, you look at that. They're all older, but they're more full timers than Sting can't be anymore. Not at 61. And I'm like, damn right. But the thing that he didn't realize, which I'm going to bring to you guys now, is like, if you look at Daniels, Jericho, and Dustin Rhodes, and all those older guys, they may be, they may appear to be full timers, but they're not
Mhm.
wrestling on a weekly basis.
No, they're really
They're
not.
wrestling here and there. They're doing backstage segments. They're in tag matches. They're on commentary like Jericho.
They'll do
They're
like
not-
run-ins, but they won't like do
Yeah,
the
they do run-ins. They
like
do.
the youngins are doing.
Fuck, if you're Jericho, you're singing and dancing with MJF with girls behind you,
That's
kicking their
fucking
legs
gold.
and shit.
Shut your whore
know?
mouth.
I'm not knocking it. I'm stating the
Uh-oh.
fact is like these guys are not full-time. You don't see Christopher Daniels week in and week out. Even with SCU, you see more of Kazarian and Sky than Kazarian and Daniels.
Mhm.
You don't see Jericho in the ring week in, week out. I'm trying to remember, Dustin Rhodes had a tag match with QT and they fought the Butcher and the Blade after Ali went
Mhm.
back. Before that, when was the last time he was in a match? It's been months.
Yeah.
It's been a hot ass minute. Yeah.
He's been out with he's been out with Brandy and whoever she's tagging with. He's been in the back.
That's the thing that they're doing good is they're keeping their faces on TV. Like you said, even if it's in a quick backstage segment or it's a run-in to help someone or whatever it is, they're still keeping their faces out there. And
Right.
that means we see them, so we're not gonna forget about them.
All right. Well, so we got some comments. We got Hobo Clown saying Sting's debut was done beautifully, and I couldn't agree
Yes.
more, homeboy.
Mhm.
It was just
Goodbye.
mwah. It was beyond beautiful. It was definitely a chef's kiss moment. And even Kirby was saying she screamed so loud she almost woke Titus up.
Well,
Not
my
the top
sister,
rope, baby.
if I remember correctly, she knows Sting personally.
Yes, she and I were talking about
She
it
went
last
to
night when
she
I
used to go to
disappeared
church
from the
with him.
thread.
She used to go to
She used to go to
church
church
with Sting?
Sting. Yep.
Yo, she needs to holler at him and tell him to come on top rope. That's all. like give him a call. Steve, we need your help.
Yep.
And Brian's saying, actually hearing Tony Schiavone scream
Yes.
"It's Sting" made my jaw drop,
Yes.
and almost brought some happy tears to my eyes. Brian,
Goosebumps.
I'm going to be totally 100 with you. I honestly and truthfully probably did have happy tears. I couldn't tell. I was too busy
Same. I was just like, oh my god.
freaking the hell
Flashbacks, man. Childhood
out.
flashbacks.
Like all the flashbacks, everything. But it's a situation, and I know Chris was concerned about it because he asked us about that, and he also asked if we thought that Sting would eventually end up AEW champion like Jericho to put that shine on the title. So going to that question, like, do you really think at this point putting the AEW title on Sting, it would be, that kind of rub like Jericho when he became the first champion, would have that same effect, or would it have people looking at that belt and thinking, oh shit, it's a joke now? Like, they'll give it to anybody.
I don't think Sting will get the title. He doesn't need it. And as far as like you were talking about what I think his role is going to be, I think he's going to be that manager / part-time wrestler, just like Dustin and everyone else. He'll keep his face on TV. He's going to help Darby. He's pretty much going to be Darby's mouthpiece.
Is he gonna
in a sense?
Is he gonna paint the other side of Darby's face like his?
you never know, or he just might paint half of his face like Sting, or just keep his own paint because that's who he is.
Or Sting is gonna paint half his face like Darby and half like.
Remember the Joker Sting? That was probably one of the best versions of the Joker Sting.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was gonna be a question too. We're gonna save that. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm thinking, look at Dustin Rhodes, and that's the blueprint for Sting. He's going to have a match here and there. He's going to basically manage someone like Darby, kind of like Dustin manages the Nightmare, whatever. It could be Brandy and Alley, it could be Brandy and Red Velvet now, whatever. But he's always been behind them and kind of helps with their vignettes and their promos and gets some laughs and does some silly shit and looks good doing it. I mean, the only difference between Sting and Dustin is probably in better shape now than he was 20 years ago. I don't know if you could say the same thing about Sting. I do love the fact that he stopped dyeing the hair. I thought that was cool that he came out all gray with the white paint and the snow falling and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like, damn, he looked like the ice god or some shit from Game of Thrones. I was just thinking, what do we say to the god of death?
I can't remember who
Clickety clack, get in my sack.
I can't remember who it was in group. They said they thought it was Glacier at first.
Stu
Yeah,
thought it was
but
Glacier, and he was
I could
disappointed.
see it.
And yet he was disappointed when he saw Sting. I was like,
Yeah,
really, homie?
because he
Like-
thought he thought of Glacier.
Like, Glacier already showed up in AEW, so what would be the point of and furthermore, let's talk about the pink elephant in the room. It's fucking Sting. It's not Glacier, it's fucking Sting.
And you know what's crazy is like that's not even like the biggest moment of the entire show.
Mm-mm.
Like,
Yeah.
that was
we have so
this
much
wasn't
more to
even the
talk about.
biggest
Like,
moment.
I
I
think
mean, it
it
was
was either
definitely
PETA,
a highlight, but
it was either PETA or Kirby who said Wendy probably marked out too hard at the first match. So when Sting showed up, she was dead. Because we had the Diamond Ring Battle Royal, which I thought was going to be a tournament at first. I was kind of feeling the Battle Royal.
I
And
actually loved how it started. It was just like, all right, let's just get in here. Let's
everybody in here, let's go. And they all
Yep.
kind of just scrummed in like it was rugby or some shit.
Yes. I loved my favorite thing though was like MJF and Sammy just following Wardlow around like
just
Just
standing
sitting in the
behind him in the
ducklings
corner,
and like ducklings and a
like
mama duck
huddled
just
together.
like wherever they went, wherever he went, they were like right
At one point,
him.
a good 10 minutes of that battle royal, like Sammy and MJF were in a cuddle puddle in the corner, and Wardlow
Yes.
was in front of him.
Wardlow's
like,
just
MJF was
standing
on
there.
his knees
Up as
and he had his
fuck.
arm around the
Man
front of
bun.
Sammy.
it was funny, but the whole match was good. Like I loved how, even though he didn't win, I loved how strong they made Miro look, because he had like
Yes.
3 members of the inner circle beating his ass, and he pulled that Big Show moment where he just rah and came out just kicking the shit out of all of them. I was like, now this
Miro
This
was
is
just
what
like,
this man
and you
should have
go,
been.
and you go, and you
Yeah,
go.
you get thrown out, and you get thrown out. Everybody's getting thrown the fuck out.
Dark Peter made a point. The Dark Order saving Hangman.
Yes.
That was going to be my next thing, and then Hangman almost getting eliminated, and the Dark Order catches him, throws him back in the ring, and like he
Trust
and
falls.
Silver were having a moment in the middle of the ring, and it was like, really, are we gonna get like Dark Order Hangman next? Is he gonna come out in like a mask with no mouth and a drink and try to be like, wait,
Just like spilling.
fuck?
Got a drinking problem.
That's how they sober him up. They put him in a mask that doesn't have a mouth, and he can't take it off, so now he can't drink. Like he's trying to put a straw. He's trying to do. He's like, damn it, I give
This
it
is
up.
not working.
Dark Order, y'all. They solved his drinking problem.
They figured it out. They did what the elite could not do.
Have you
Right?
noticed that Silver doesn't wrestle with a mask anymore?
No,
Yes.
not at all. Cause he's John Silver, man. The dude
He
is.
doesn't need it. The homunculus doesn't need a mask.
I gotta say, the dude is like. I know you said he was the dark horse in the Battle Royal
He
going
really
in.
was.
John Silver has become like the dark horse of AEW. Like he's a great talent. He can talk. People are starting to really like him. And going back to Full Gear with that one-arm gorilla press,
Oh my god, yeah.
I marked out as hard for that as I did for Sting, because I have never
was like,
seen that
holy
in my
crap
entire
balls.
fucking life. I've watched
And
wrestling.
he can lift
3.5
men that are like
decades.
twice his size, and he's just kind of like, well, there you go. Out you
I was like,
goes.
the fuck? One hand on him? God
Literally check the range
damn.
on him.
Like he should have won that match with Orange Cassidy after that one-arm fucking gorilla press. It was like,
Yes.
you are a beast. You deserve that victory. Didn't happen, but still, obviously they're not going to put him in a mask, because dude is getting over like on on his own too. Because if it were up to AEW, Brody Lee would still be smacking his ass around.
I think that kind of, in a weird way, was a good way to start his push, though. Kind of like with Mr. Brody being like, this fucking fool. And then the fool showing
this
you,
clown
like,
right here.
I'm more than just a damn clown. Like, I'm not a one-trick pony. I can beat some ass, too.
Well, then at the end, after Mr. Brody lost the TNT title, he kicked everyone out but Silver. Everyone was
Yes.
leaving, and he
No.
said, "No, you stay."
Now,
And everybody else left.
Hobo Clown brings up a good question, because we brought up what now reports are saying that the Brody Lee is completely ghosted off TV. Tony Khan won't even talk about his situation in like press conference calls, and that when asked about it,
He'll talk ambiguously.
he'll
and just
literally
be
say,
like, well,
I
he's-
can't
he's-
comment, but
Exactly. But we hope everything will be okay. And we
so
come back soon. Just
his-
really vague, ambiguous answers.
I'm wondering if Hobo Clown is right. is there, with all these circumstances, are we going to get Hangman Page as the new leader of the Dark Order?
I can see that.
Because that shit would change Dark Order drastically. Like, first off, there's no more corporate parties. There's keggers. That's first and foremost.
For starters, we're having a bonfire.
I don't see him being the new leader. I see Mr. Brody. I see the Dark Order still pecking at him and pecking at him and picking at him until he gets a title shot against Kenny. And when he does, Mr. Brody's gonna come out and help him win the title, and then he's gonna pull him into the Dark Order.
Because I think it was Peter that asked us, have we heard anything on Brody Lee? And Wendy looked it up on the show.
Keeping it alive.
And said, like, he hasn't even been on social media since he said, basically, congratulations, Cody Rhodes, at the beginning of October. And then he just ghosted. And
that was the last thing.
That was it. It's still it. And now people are starting to catch on, and they're starting to ask Tony Khan, and he's starting to say that he can't comment. But
I think that was I think it was Kirby. Kirby was the one who brought that up, and then that kind of got us to look at.
But at the same time, it's like, where the fuck is Brody Lee? How can you have the Dark Order without the Exalted One? But I'll be honest, I think John Silver is probably the only guy that's actually a full-fledged member of Dark Order that I like. Like, I can't say Colt Cabana because he's just hanging out. And
no, he's full on Dark Order.
I've said it once, I'll say it again. Colt Cabana is the golden retriever among the black cats. Okay, all the black cats are moody and shit. Like, look,
he's just like, "Hey guys, how's it going?"
And he's just like, "Hi, what's going on?"
Got any treats?
He's just goofy.
He's but it's like, even when the whole Dark Order was in the ring, like, they're all wearing their gear and their t-shirts, and Colt's over at the side, big smile on his face, AEW shirt.
Yeah. Hey, you guys,
like, you're not in the Dark Order, homie.
He's the goofy golden retriever.
Last night he had on a silver and purple gi. You know how he wears the gis to the ring? He had the silver and purple with the Dark Order logo on it.
Yeah, I still don't see it. Kadrian's saying he heard Brody Lee has an ankle injury. And that could be true, because I've heard some stuff like that, but he's just like nowhere. That's the thing that just, it's like, wow. Even Kirby saying like temporary fill-in leader for the Dark Order being Hangman.
Yeah,
Page.
That's what she and I were saying last night. Yeah,
I could definitely see that happening. And of course, like, there's so much that happened. Like, you had Jericho against Kazarian, and Kazarian had him in the walls of Jericho, and there was all these shenanigans, and then the next thing you know, here comes MJF with the towel, and you think he's about to pull like a Cody, where he just throws it in, even though Jericho doesn't want him to. And you're like, man, is he gonna leave? Is he really doing this already? Like, damn, dude, you've been in for like a week. You've been back from Vegas for like 2 days.
And
high class kid in the background. Hey. He's still waving. I love that dude. Anyway, and then Sammy tries to wrestle it away, and Jericho's like thinking he's the one that was going to throw in the towel, and it just starts more shit with him, and then Hager and Wardlow go off, and as if this show couldn't have got any bigger, here's Jericho saying like, we got a week to get our shit together, or the Inner Circle is no more. And you're like, really? You can't give me all this at once. The next show is a disappointment no matter what, right?
Kirby and I were saying, it's like Jericho was like, I will pull the internet over. Like, y'all need to start behaving.
Can we just stop and think, where the fuck was Santana?
Good question.
He was not there last night.
Yeah.
No, he was not.
Ortiz was certainly there because he was pitching a fucking fit, whether the match was going, one way or the other. I think he was just too hyped, and there could be something involved in that. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate, but just the best. But Ortiz was certainly there. You had Sammy, you had everybody else, but Santana like pulled a Brody Lee. He just poof. So I don't know. And he's the one that's been on board. Like, Ortiz is the one rocking the boat, and Santana's like, whatever. MJF, come on in, dude. Whatever. Wardlow, hey, nice man bun. Like, what? He don't give a fuck. And he wasn't there. So it stands to wonder, like, have we seen the end of the Inner Circle? Like, how the fuck are these people going to fix this in a week?
We don't need the Inner Circle.
We don't, but I kind of like it.
Not anymore. The
I
Inner
think
Circle
it's run its course.
Yeah.
yes, I think it's
It
just
may
run its
have, but
course.
it's also a great vessel for Chris Jericho, especially you think back to the pandemic and all the little videos they were
All Chris
doing,
Jericho needs
the
is
bubbly
Jake Hager.
bunches, the release to Hound. Hager is so damn boring though.
But that's
Him
all
and his one
that's
face
his heater, dude.
and
That's
his
his heater.
and his wisp. Just Jericho asks a question and there's Hager. Yes.
But
I don't
and,
need
and
Hager, man. I need these guys. Like, Sammy was really his hype man before the whole Sasha thing, and then that kind of fell off. But there was the Sex Gods. There's Sammy singing the entrance, singing Judas on the way in horribly. There, all that shit. Saying he
With
looked up to him
enthusiasm.
with enthusiasm, but enthusiastically horrible. Let's be real.
Enthusiastically off key.
Horrible, exactly. I ain't afraid
Just
of the
say
Cuban
it.
God. Horrible.
Oh shit.
yeah, I don't know.
Hager really doesn't seem to care either way, Kirby. You're
No,
absolutely
he's just
right.
like, nah.
But that's what makes him perfect. Like if you really stop and think about it and look at since Hager showed up until now, he's the one that accompanies Jericho to the ring the most. He doesn't need Sammy.
True.
He doesn't need Santana. He doesn't need Ortiz.
I'm sorry.
All he needs is Hager.
I'm trying not to laugh because you busted in as I saw the comment where PETA had basically said they need to stick them on the naughty step like Lana. Get out there on those steps, god damn it, don't move.
Don't
Worked
move
for
until I tell
her.
you to.
Worked for her. You may not be wrong there, PETA. You may not be. It's hilarious, but you're not wrong.
Not wrong
You
at
too
all.
can be a survivor. Just stand on the steps. I mean, I'd kind of be upset if the Inner Circle went away. Like, I know they've kind of run their course and everything, but they're fucking entertaining. Like,
Chris Jericho's entertaining.
All of you can't tell me you were watching those
Vegas
Vegas videos.
As fuck.
You can't tell me you weren't watching those Vegas videos of the Inner Circle and thinking, "Oh, Jericho's the only one making me laugh right now." It's not happening.
You're not grasping the concept of what I'm saying. I'm saying as far as promos, when they're all together, Jericho.
Oh yeah. Well, he's
their
leader, regardless of MJF.
It's run its course. It needs to. Yeah. That's just
time to put it away.
Yeah, it needs. It's like beating a dead horse.
Yeah, we're getting there.
There's Alvaro. Hey man, what's going on?
Hey bro.
Hey adopted bro. Yeah, MJF wants to take apart the whole faction. I don't know if he wants to take it apart. I think maybe he wants to lead it. Like Jericho's getting a little long in the tooth. Why don't you hit the commentary table and I'll take over? And if Sam don't like it, get the fuck out. Do
you think MJF will do the rounds and just slowly, one by one, decimate various groups? Or at least try to?
I hope not. I would rather MJF be known for what he is than like faction killer. You know what I'm saying?
He could even. He's like, there's so many possibilities with AEW that like you can't think inside of a small box like you do with the other company because it could almost be like MJF's trying to take out the Inner Circle so he can have his own, so he can start his own faction and be the top faction and heels in the company.
That's true. And before we move on, I do want to get to this question that Chris put out because it just jumped past so quickly and I just went back and saw it. I think it's a good one for Bruce. He asked, what exactly is the significance of the Dynamite Diamond Ring? Come on, Brucey. Your God has had it for a year now. What exactly is the significance of that ring?
I have one to exist.
It's their very first. It's their first mid-card championship title type deal. If you stop and you think about it when it came out and what was going on, that was supposed to be their second.
Okay, to a point, but at the same time, the FTW title has been defended more than the Diamond Ring has. So.
But and here's the thing, it probably started out as something that was supposed to be defended, and then they were like, yeah, you know what? Let's not defend it. Let's make it a yearly thing, and now we have the TNT title. Like, you never know what happened or the way it could have gone.
I think Wendy was about to jump in with something too. Did you have something on the significance of the Diamond? Because I thought I heard you.
Not
say, like,
really. No, to be honest, like
To be fair,
by it makes
be
for a
fair.
great prop. But beyond that, I'm
for
like,
some
what's
great
the point?
MJF and Wardlow jokes on this show.
Exactly, it makes for a great prop. But
No,
beyond that, I'm like, what's the point?
I think I might be a little bit closer than anything we brought up. The Diamond Ring is kind of like AEW's version of King of the Ring. There's no real significance to it. We just do it once a year, and then whoever has it keeps it for a year, and then we do it again. But the difference between that and King of the Ring is usually, not always, usually the King of the Ring gets that's that guy that's going to get that push. You know, the Steve Austin when he's coming out of the whatever ringmaster gimmick and going into Stone Cold, or Owen Hart or Kurt Angle or whatever. You know, and Baron Corbin's a bad example. Okay, I admit that. I'm talking about over time. I think that's what the ring was meant to be. And I guess it works because the guy who held it did get an AEW world title shot and had a damn good match. So
had a damn good
more like
2020.
King of the Ring. He had a damn good 2020. You're right. If anything, it's more like King of the Ring than a mid-card title. It's just, here we give you this and then you shine. Like a diamond.
Classic King of the Ring. Classic King of the Ring. Because current King of the Ring is just some bullshit.
No, that's what I said. Baron Corbin's a bad example. Baron Corbin's a bad everything. Can we just fire him?
Like Attitude Era King of the Ring, basically.
Yes.
Actually meant something.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. When it was like Angle or Austin or those guys that were about to take that next step. You got King of the Ring.
I could get with that.
And MJF came in and he wasn't really known or established. He won that ring. The next thing you know, he's having these great matches with Jungle Boy. He's getting title shots at Moxley. He's winning against Cody Rhodes and taking Cody out of the title picture. Like, he had a lot of moments after winning that damn ring.
Yes.
And I'm not saying he wouldn't have had him without it, but I think that's where they're going along the lines of like an Attitude Era King of the Ring type thing with an actual ring.
Yes.
Fair enough.
No. Yeah. I like that explanation. That's a good one.
Okay, so where do we go next on this show? Do we go to Thunder Rosa? Do we go to Kenny Omega? There was so much.
Let's go with Thunder Rosa.
Good call. Because obviously we saw Britt Baker in the ring, having a match, getting a win, and then immediately, like before the bell rang, Thunder Rosa was on her like white on rice, man.
That was awesome.
Oh my god, yeah.
Just kicking her
got her ass beat,
and the referee separate them, and the next thing you know, you got Reba throwing like cheap shots at Thunder Rosa. They try to tackle her, so then Thunder's back on Britt Baker, and she put out this whole thing on Facebook where she went, oh fuck.
Yep.
Like, Britt, if you think I'm gonna leave or roll over for you because you're some kind of role model or some shit, you were mistaken. I'm not going anywhere. I will see you again. I will kick. When I catch you, I'm gonna you put the.
When I catch you, you catching hands.
Like when you see me, you better run. I don't care if you got Reba with you. You better run.
I don't give a fuck.
Like, I know peeps too. I can bring everybody from the NWA. Don't tempt me.
I'll bring a little insurance backup.
And that adds another wrinkle, which we're going to get into too, because this show just like, whoo.
Put a pin in that thought. We'll circle right back.
Yeah, we will circle back to that. I'm just saying, like, I know, Britt Baker has been on the come up, and Thunder Rosa has been one of the highlights of everything. NWA 2020, you name it, she's been it. Like, she's probably the hottest woman in wrestling. I don't give a shit what PWI says.
18.
You can suck it, PWI. She is the hottest fucking woman in all of professional wrestling. How she's not in the top 5
number
is a
1 in
TRW's
hearts.
She is number 1 in this psycho ass heart of mine. That's all. In Grandma's old heart, in Brucey's high class heart, Thunder Rosa, number 1. We want the Thunder. Bring us the Thunder.
Yes.
Okay.
What? Go ahead, Bruce.
Wow, Bruce.
You're like, actually, I
No.
like Brit better. Shut your whore mouth.
No,
Conversation.
I like Reba better.
that isn't what I was gonna say. I was actually gonna
go ahead.
compliment how fucking amazing they've been doing with telling the story, not just on television, not just on Dark, but on social
On
media.
social media, the
Like,
whole nine.
like you don't. We as fans don't really take social media for what they're actually using it for. Like we think like it's like how did Cash said, like when I'm on Twitter and I'm on Cash, I'm in character. I'm Cash Wheeler. Like
right.
but I have my own personal Twitter that nobody has, and I'm me.
Yep.
Like I'm in character, and it's just we don't. And even as much as we hate fucking Baron Corbin and whatnot, the dude's a dick, and he gets under people's skin, and they fucking ride him hard. And he said it,
Fair.
and he said it numerous times, like, dude, that's not me. like leave me the fuck alone. and it's a character.
But
But
with the hopes that I don't sound like some kind of fanboy, because I'm not, I have to give kudos to AEW for this, because Britt Baker has probably been one of the hottest women, not only in AEW but in wrestling in the last 6 months. Ever since getting past, ever since the conspirator shit, all the way through to now, she's having these good matches. She's got the waiting room on Dark where she's making people laugh and building her character. Thunder Rosa has probably been the hottest woman of the last year. So what better way to create something that people are going to love than to take two of the hottest women in the last 6 months to a year and make them feud Like, how else are you going to, what better way to get eyes on your product? And oh yeah, she's hot. Oh, by the way, they're fighting. Awesome.
For
this is
Basura
what
to
we
be
want to
able
see.
I think it's amazing how Basura was able to build up a storyline with Big Swole while being incapacitated due to a major injury,
the golf
and
carts,
build up this story through
plexiglass,
promos, through shit talk, through all of that. Like she's come a long, long way from where she
really
started.
has. She really has. And Thunder has just been
Talk
improving
about a
in
glow
leaps and
up.
bounds, like every day, know.
Yep.
Go home, Tom. You're drunk. Not really. It's water. It's just water.
Not drunk yet.
I was drunk on the last episode. Where were you?
Britt Baker hires
Peter,
Tessa Blanchard as her bodyguard.
That'd be kind of cool too, but then she'd have to fire Reba.
No, she wouldn't. Reba's her personal assistant.
Okay, I see where you're going with it. I love Peter's response. Keeping kayfabe alive. Goddamn right. Goddamn right. Putting it out there on social media and making it into this bigger feud than it is. Keeping kayfabe alive. You can't always say that, and we probably won't later on. And Brian saying Thunder Rosa is going to tear Britt Baker to shreds like a fucking mama jaguar. Okay.
To hop on what Brucey just said about Tessa, as much as I like the idea, we all know her ego's too big to let her do something like that.
Yeah.
Tessa, yeah.
That's in her mind, that would be beneath her.
Yeah. But I could see somebody coming in and filling that role, whether it be Tessa or even we're not exactly sure where they're going with it outside of Nyla Rose, maybe Jade. Just a big shit heel faction with Britt Baker at the front of it.
But here's the thing,
Jade and Nyla and Vicky, they all fit together perfectly. They all have that. They're all kind of divas. They're all kind of heels. They're all, they're all rotten little motherfuckers in their own way. It would work.
I mean,
rotten in a good way, in a heel way, not like Baron Corbin, like a good way.
No, no, totally.
You know what I'm saying?
To piggyback off what you were saying about Tessa's ego, you got to remember her dad works for AEW, so
But just because her dad works for the company doesn't mean she'll play ball.
Keep that ego in check.
That doesn't mean, but at the same time,
See, there's a lot of questions. Could her dad keep the ego in check? Was the ego part of getting out of Impact, kind of the way Killer Cross had an ego and an attitude in Impact, but when he got to NXT, he was a whole other
They humbled
person.
him.
It
No, they
wasn't
just-
even a humble
They
thing. It was more
brainwashed
like
him.
I want to do A, B, and C to get the fuck out of here so I can go be somewhere else. And once I'm somewhere else, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be the team player. But while
That's
I'm
such
here,
an immature, unprofessional way, unprofessional
it
way.
is.
So, and to
I'm
be
not gonna
honest,
argue
like
that.
no matter what promotion I was, after all that bullshit she played, I'd be like, nah, I don't need that in my life. I don't need that negativity. No, thank
Well,
you. You may be
we-
great and you may have done a lot of great stuff, but nah, pass.
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
know.
touch it with a 20-foot pole.
Regardless, I kind of gave Killer Cross a pass because I saw what they were doing with him in Impact, and it was like, meh. You're Austin Aries weed carrier. Really? That's Killer Cross's role in Impact. You need to get the fuck out of there. But as far as Tessa goes, she was in a completely different position. She was the world champion. She wasn't
That's what I'm
carrying
saying.
weed for the world champion. She
Mm-mm.
was the
She
world
wasn't-
champion.
She
So
wasn't
that
given some
means-
bullshit storyline. They lifted her up.
They put her on Front
Like,
Street.
now
Like,
the
you are the
golden
face of
child,
the
and she was
fucking
like, "Eat my
promotion.
dick."
And she was like, I don't want to be here. Fuck you.
Yeah, pretty
Really?
much.
Really?
And to be like, oh, you want your title? Pay me. Like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, why are we?
There's a big difference between Cross and Blanchard. And the difference is where they were headed in that promotion at the time.
Yeah.
Like Killer Cross was on this like really shitty level. Tessa was up here. So for Cross
And
to have an attitude,
there
I
may
get
be
it.
stuff.
But
There may
Tessa,
be things we don't know about that happen backstage. But by the same token, like if there was something shady going on backstage that we didn't know about, she could have spoken up and been like, "This is why I did what I did."
especially after all this time,
Experience. This is what was happening. Instead, she was just like,
like she
"I don't care."
dipped out of there. She dipped out of there what, in March? And
Mhm.
here we are 8 months later and she hasn't said a goddamn thing about it.
Exactly.
Like if there was something going on, she would have probably been on like Chris Van Vliet or some shit again and spouting off about what they were doing to her almost immediately.
Yep.
And 8 months later, crickets. There wasn't
Yep.
anything going on.
No.
I hate to say this, but I'm probably agreeing more with the hobo clown today than I ever did when he was on the show. It's weird because I see the comment that says Tessa and WWE deserve each other.
But
And that
even
was,
Brian agrees.
It in the Survivor Series special that had all kinds of technical glitches, but what we got is on Fox 10 Productions now. If you feel like going back and watching it, this didn't make it. But one of the Keep It or Kill It's I posted to them was Tessa Blanchard would be an instant title contender on any show in WWE, NXT, SmackDown, or Raw. Like she shows up tomorrow, she's an instant title contender.
Yeah, I could see them doing that.
Yeah, see, I said keep it.
Keep it.
Royal
Yeah,
Rumble.
totally keep it.
That's hot.
Yeah, this will be. She'd
Yep.
come in, win the Royal Rumble, and boom,
Mhm.
pick a brand.
Yep.
I mean, like if she went into NXT, instant title contender. Instant.
Oh yeah.
SmackDown or Raw,
Hands
she might
down.
have to do something like win the Royal Rumble. But if she ended up being number one contender just because she showed up, you think, okay. I don't know if they would acknowledge her family background considering where Tully is, but
I mean, if they did, it would probably just be like she's a second generation wrestler.
yeah,
and-
or if they would give her like the one name treatment, like Ali, Riddle, Tessa.
No, that's what they.
Well,
that's
Ali took back
exactly
his
what they
name.
would do.
No, I know, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Riddle, Murphy, yada yada yada, and they didn't
Mhm,
really have
mhm.
any reason, but Tessa Blanchard with Tully and AEW, now she's Tessa.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's not even a doubt.
That's where I'm in on, and I'm sorry I had to jump to that because it just reminded me, and obviously you can't watch that part because it got all fucked up.
Oh
but-
no, you can. They would probably gloss over Tully, say she's third generation because of her
Magnum TA and her grandfather.
no, her grandfather and her stepdad. Just kind of
Mhm.
over Tully and just be like, oh, third generation, granddaughter of Joe Blanchard, stepdaughter of Magnum.
She'll be Tessa TA.
Oh.
Ugh. We may
Oh,
want to double think that.
ugh.
which still doesn't sound as good as Curtis Axel, but still.
But even if they let her keep the Blanchard, they would say it's for her grandfather, not her father. They wouldn't even talk about him
Right.
over him entirely.
Right. Yeah, even
Mhm.
Brian's saying like she's toxic, but but at the same time her ego's too big. AW already has another, kind of heat magnet in Ivelisse along
As
with
much
Britt.
as I love her, yep, she sure
It would be a
is.
terrible idea for AEW to sign her.
Yep.
I'm finding hard to argue that.
Yep.
Either way, I'm like, if they sign her, I'm like, okay, I can see why. If they don't, I'd sit here and say the same. Okay, I can see why.
Either way, I wouldn't want to see her there though.
Okay, so now we have to talk about the AEW title match. We have to talk about the aftermath, because this is something that if you guys watch this show, you've heard me say it.
This match again before the show.
Like I did too.
It was
I watched it again like right after, because YouTube TV, I pulled it up on the DVR and I fast forwarded to that match again. And I watched the whole thing.
Like
Kirby and I watched it together. There was a lot of screaming at our TVs happening.
Yeah, for starters, if you didn't know the cleaner in New Japan, you fucking saw him last night.
Yeah, you saw
Maybe not
glimpses
the
of it.
full on version.
You saw glimpses of it, and it was
you saw the cleaner last night.
it was like num 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 num. Give me more.
He was like the Gaiju Kenny Omega in the caterpillar, like he was in the cocoon and everything, and the cleaner had just broke out for that match, especially towards the end. Because that match was knocked down, drag out, even before any of the shenanigans. Like, it was brutal. There were a couple of times I thought Kenny's dead.
Yeah.
I was literally having South Park moments, like, "Oh my God, you killed Kenny! You bastard!"
killed Kenny.
And he just kept fighting back, like kept kicking out, kept fighting back. I thought he was dead, and he was hitting zombie V triggers all over the goddamn ring. It was an amazing match, and leading into the match, they brought Don Callis out for commentary, which they had done, I think, at Full Gear for his finals match. So it wasn't as shocking, but still, you're like, huh. Not only are they bringing Don Callis out, they're actually acknowledging that he's like one of the owners of Impact Wrestling. That's interesting in itself.
I loved when they were like, he's like an uncle to Kenny.
Yeah. He's Uncle Don.
Okay.
This is like Eddie Kingston saying the Pentagon is his best friend, you know, or that he's known Butcher and Blade forever, you know, that kind of thing. You got to keep kayfabe alive, like Peter had been saying. But you know, obviously towards the end of the match, Kenny gets thrown into that weird heater speaker looking thing. And I thought, oh God, are they going to electrocute him like Elias on Raw? What the fuck? Like, don't do that. Don't follow suit with WWE. Don't do that. Because then you're just going to feed into what everybody said. Oh, they're trying to be WWE. Fuck, here we go. But it wasn't. He was out cold, and refs are looking at him. Moxley's pulling refs off and dragging him back in the ring. And Don Callis comes running down. He's trying to get the mic, and he's saying he's hurt. And Moxley clocks him, and the mic falls in the ring. And all of a sudden, you see Kenny kind of come to and look down and go, ooh. Ooh. See, this was, by the way, that was a cleaner too. If he get a fucking advantage on you somehow,
he'll take it.
Done. Doesn't matter how I do it, as long as I win. That was total cleaner shit. And he clocked really Moxley with that microphone, busted him open and everything, got him into One Wing Angel, pulled that title, and bolted. And I'm like, why is he running? Because I didn't think when we got to the back, people were going to be so shocked. Like, oh, Kenny, what happened? They were even bringing up gentleman's agreement. I'm like, it's a fucking wrestling match, gentleman's agreement. Like, what is this, Ring of Honor? Fuck you. There's no gentleman's agreement. But everybody's, Kenny, why? And he runs out, and Alex Marvez catches up to him and says, what, Kenny, why did you do that? And Don jumps in and says, you'll find out Tuesday on Impact on Access TV. I'm like,
he was like, you'll find out Tuesday. And Marvez is like, but Dynamite's on Wednesday. Tuesday on Access on Impact.
Dynamite's on Wednesday, you moron. I know he was trying to add a dramatic effect, but come on now.
It was hysterical.
But when he said Tuesday on Impact, I was like,
when he said you'll find out on Tuesday, I was like, and then he was like, but it's on Wednesday. He's like, no, Tuesday, Impact Access. I was like, oh.
That's, I mean, as soon as he said Tuesday, my jaw dropped. I was like, I know it's coming.
So,
I know it's coming, and I'm all for this. Say it.
Yep.
So that means Impact is live this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's not pre-recorded like everything is for them.
Yeah.
But
every now and then you get a live Impact show. Not every
You-
week, but every now and then.
That entire match was it was insane, but it's like you could see like the turning point where there's the turning point in the match where like the real cleaner comes out. Like you have the beginning of the match where it's a match, it's a good match. As soon as Moxley put those two chairs in the center of the ring, that's when we saw New Japan Kenny Omega with the stiff shots,
That
the
was the
hard
turning
suplexes.
point.
I was having
yes.
I was having like CZW flashbacks because if you go back to like watch the movie The Wrestler and they were having that hardcore match and in the middle of it the scruffy homeless looking dude and we're sitting in the middle of a ring and they were slapping the fuck out of each other and
Yes.
then the Ram gets a playing card stapled to his forehead. That was some CZW type shit, and that's why they put it in there because I think he was at a CZW show at that point, and seeing that happen, I'm having like flashbacks to Moxley and CZW, and now Kenny's going along with it, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, like Cleaner is out the cocoon. He is the full-on Cleaner butterfly at this point. Like the metamorphosis is complete.
Yes.
And I mean, just the whole ass match, the drama, and then the announcement that like Tuesday on Impact, you will see the AEW World Champion.
Yep.
Fuck. Like for those
It
of you
was
that have
like-
been watching for a year and some change now, and you've heard me say over and over again, don't sleep on Impact, don't sleep on Impact, don't sleep on Impact. You shouldn't have slept on Impact.
Kirby and I were
it-
losing our minds. I won't lie. Like
I
we
was
were
freaking
like,
fuck out.
holy crap balls.
It was don't sleep on the friendship that Omega and Jericho have with Don Callis.
Yeah, because Felipe even said like Don Callis was the mind that helped to actually create Omega versus Jericho in New Japan.
Yep.
And it was perfect. And you know, and he's absolutely right. He was one of the biggest soundboards going back and forth between Jericho and Omega. Like, you guys need to meet up, but you need to meet up here, not in WWE, here. Like, this is where you do it. I know Jericho can do it. Obviously, Kenny's the best bout machine at this time. It would be perfect. And it really was. You saw a whole other side of Jericho. It opened Jericho's eyes to like what was out there outside of WWE, what he could still be. And he probably wouldn't be in AEW if it weren't for that moment. And we have Don Callis as one of the biggest people to thank.
Thank you.
You're
You
welcome.
rock, Jose.
All right, just got my glass of ice.
Better
Finally.
late than never.
It's only been an hour
Oh.
into the show.
So I totally forgot that his phone was on the charger sitting next to me.
Okay, yeah, I've done that with Kathy. I'll text her something, and then I hear the phone go off next to me, and I'm like, oh shit, she's charging. Right, she's charging it out here. She's in another room.
Oops.
Nice party.
Someone's getting shitty tonight.
Huh?
Says someone's getting shitty tonight.
Pour me-
Not too bad.
Pour me
Not too
one
bad.
while you're at it.
Just a little
Just a
taste.
little bit, just a little, just a smidge.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Supposed
and
to have
of
to
course,
be up early, so
I think now we need to do what everybody's been doing on social media and just, okay, Kenny's on Impact. We even saw the Young Bucks putting up Impact photos on their social media, so we know at least 3 of the EVPs are in on this shit. And if anybody remembers, one of the first stops that Cody made after WWE
Global Force.
and TNA.
Mhm.
So with that backing and everything else, let's just say these two are working together, because obviously it looks like they are. Fantasy bookings, Impact and AEW. Where should we go first?
The fucking North versus FTR.
Bingo. Yes.
But here's the
Yes.
thing: Ethan Page didn't re-sign his contract. That's what I'm worried about.
It'd be wild if Ethan Page signed with AEW, but the North still tag up because they're working together. Like, you have one on Impact, one in AEW, but they're still a team.
That would be kind of cool.
Like, but the other big match that I've thought about, that I've seen a lot, Sami Callihan versus Moxley.
They were actually a tag team.
I know, and
They
they've
were.
actually
They
fought
were.
each other
CZW.
before too,
Mm-hmm.
and they've had some absolute fucking wars that make the shit with Eddie Edwards look tame. So especially Wendy being the hardcore gal, like, and I'm the hardcore guy, like seeing those two get together would be fucking art. How about the matchup we've talked about before? The battle of the barroom brawl between James Storm and Hangman Page.
Oh yeah.
Like beer versus liquor. Never sicker, but in this case, like sick, like fucking
never sicker.
Right.
For me, my dream match. My dream match is the ladies, the Hassettes.
Yeah, so I was just about to get the ladies, but go ahead.
Jordan Grace versus Big Swole would be, because those are tough broads.
Abaddon versus Havoc.
Oh.
Or even like Havoc versus Nia.
That would be great to see.
Nyla. Nyla. Get that name out.
That non-wrestling
name.
Go wash your mouth out.
Sorry, I always do that. Slip of the tongue. Nyla, Havoc versus Nyla, or even like, how about Havoc and Nevaeh? Let's say this tournament comes to a head and they become knockout tag team champions, right? How about Havoc and Nevaeh defend against the winners of the Deadly Draw, Ivelisse and Diamante? Like first title defense.
Yes.
That would be fucking sick.
I'm liking all these things. Ooh, Brian just said
Perazo
MJF versus EC3.
EC3 is no
he'd need to come
longer
back
in
to
Impact.
Impact for that. He could come back. He controls his own narrative.
He can just kind of like mosey on back for a match or two.
Right?
No?
Right? The one I want to see. The one I want to see is Eli Drake versus MJF.
Excuse you, sir. If you're gonna say his name, you say it right.
Eli Drake. Sorry, versus MJF.
That's right.
The promos would almost be better than the match, but the match is going to be great too. So I would love nothing more than to see that. Let's see if anybody in our chat has got any bookings.
Just thinking of Eli Drake gets me fluttered. Whew, gets me all fluttered.
Oh, we already got MJF versus EC3. Yeah, but Hangman versus Storm. Fuck yeah, Peter. Grace versus Sheeta, or Sheeta versus Perazo. Ooh.
I want Perazo versus Baker.
Talk about.
Thank you. I was trying to say that, but I got cut off.
I was gonna say versus.
It'd be Diva versus Diva, man.
We were talking about. We were talking about, Britt maybe teaming up with somebody. Could you imagine her and the Virtuoso getting together? Like, they are two of the biggest.
Can you imagine the abuse divas. Poor Reba would take?
Yes, and it would be great. Even Kimberly would be busting on Reba. It'll be great.
No one mentioned Rich Swann.
Is worth more. Nobody mentioned who?
No, Peter said no one mentioned Rich Swann.
Oh, how can we leave out the Impact champion? I mean,
I can pretty easily.
Yeah, but what about Rich Swann versus Sammy?
They're already doing it.
Sammy Guevara, the Spanish guy. Or Rich Swann versus Ricky.
So not enthused with Rich Swann.
Rich Swann versus Pretty Ricky.
I agree.
But that's what if it was Rich Swann versus Pretty Ricky for the Impact title?
Meh.
Now we're talking. You get some more gold in Team Taz.
That would be kind of cool for Team Taz.
Right?
FT Dub. I think I bored too much.
Chris Jericho versus Eli Drake. I like that one.
Sir, that's not how you say his name.
Oh, my apology. Eli Drake.
There you go.
The promos alone, hell yeah. Omega versus Trey Miguel. I don't think Trey Miguel's in Impact anymore, Felipe. He didn't get signed, but he's not in Impact anymore.
No,
Suicide versus Penta. Holy shit.
That would be interesting.
Yes, I would love that. But it's got to be TJP in the costume and not Caleb with a K. Fuck that. That dude only puts on the costume when he's getting squashed. It's got to be TJP. I would love to see that. That would be pretty fucking cool. It would be like right off some crazy ass comic book page or something. What are you saying about Rohit here, Peter? You just said Rohit as well. No one mentioned Rich or Rohit. Well, yeah, because Impact's got some whack champions at the moment. Like Rohit Raju is X Division champion. That's another one. Like if Sammy wanted to come in and take him out, I'm cool. Spanish God all day. Or Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy for the X Division title
Yes.
against Rohit. Whoo! Get Jurassic Express some gold.
That would be, yes, I could get with that.
Hell, I'd even like to see like Madman Fulton versus Luchasaurus.
That would be, yes.
And now we got
So
some vets.
many.
We got some vets on the roster. We were talking about like, is Sting going to have a fight? Could you imagine if one of Sting's matches was against like Ken Shamrock? They're
Ooh.
both old as dirt and they can both go and they'll protect one another. So it kind of seems like the perfect fit. I'm just saying.
Moose versus Hobbs. That's a Swag
Ooh,
Marco. I'd pay great
Swag
money
all
to
day.
see that.
Swag.
I'd watch that.
Swag is the hottest thing in wrestling right now. He's phenomenal.
He
Like,
is. He is.
Swag whip his ass. He got that experience edge, and he's phenomenal. And he's got Machine Gun Anderson backing him up. I would love to see that too. Brucey's just sitting here. Did you have something else high class? I'm sorry.
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
How about Crazy Steve versus Darby Allin? Wow.
The potential and the possibilities at this point are just beyond endless, and it's just so
it really is
thrilling and exciting.
It really is.
Yes.
And not only that, you think about like, okay, they're starting to work this thing with Impact. They've been working with like NWA women and have the NWA World's title already on their show. Like all of these promotions are coming together in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
If this continues, the dream matches, like if you think they're endless now, wait till we start like pumping NWA talent straight into this mix.
And you know what? Wait till like all these travel bans and all this Rona shit clears and people are able to better travel. And then we get more international stars and New Japan and AAA throw their hats into this.
Yes. Like a full-fledged, I think Brucey and I were talking about it, like get a full-fledged Bullet Club reunion. Because you have the Bucks, you have Kenny,
Yes,
you
you
have,
do.
you know, over in Impact, you have the Good Brothers, you have all the guys in Japan. You know, you bring them all together. It's just one big summit, and you get this whole big Bullet Club reunion.
That would be insane. The potential is amazing.
Endless.
It's incredible.
And again, throw that NWA talent in there. It looks like it's going that route, and holy shit.
Peter said Kenny's fighting in AAA, and that's why I said, like,
He's a champion.
He's the mega champion.
Exactly, he's their
mega
champion.
He's still
the potential for the matches is just.
Even Thunder Rosa's working with AAA, and she's working with AEW, and she's been working with NWA. Like all of these roads kind of intersect and lead to one place. And this is going back years to when Brucey and I were doing our first wrestling podcast. Like, so somebody had asked us, what is there a promotion that can compete with WWE? And my answer at that point was like, no. You'd have to take all these promotions and create some kind of super territory where you all have your network deals and you all have this and that, but your talent works on every different show, and you kind of have these super shows wherever you go. It's the only way you can come up with the roster, the networks, the money to really truly compete with that kind of Titan. Because even though like AEW has money, they don't quite have the roster, and it's not like they can just go out and buy guys because they're not there. They're in other promotions, so work with the other promotions.
Yeah, that's pretty much the route they're taking,
which is fucking genius. I know because I said it, and I'm a genius. Okay,
which is Triple H's wet dream, apparently.
I was gonna say that leads us to the breaking news that we found out just before we showed up to do this show. On a conference call today, somebody mentioned to Triple H that this was all taking place and asked if WWE would ever consider working with rival promotions. And his response in short was, quote, "We're always open for business," or "We're open for business," one or the other.
Yes.
And that led me to cue in Wendy with her truly wonderful moment. There it is. A little ahead of time, but still pure. Right now, you want to do it. 24 hours after they said they were doing it, now you want to do it. Sure, Jack.
Not even 24 hours, like because it's been a while. Like they've been doing it, and it's now you want to be like, well, we're open for. You're not. You're so full of shit. It's coming out your ears.
You know who WWE are going to work with? They're going to work with Evolve and ICW and Progress, the ones they bought. Those are the
WWE is gonna work
promotions
with
they're open
WWE,
for
basically.
business for.
Exactly.
The ones under their umbrella. That's what they're open for business for.
No, the ones they worked with, they now own.
Exactly.
They worked with all of those companies before
Yeah.
they went out of business, and now they
And
own
then they
them.
bought them because they made a ton of money during the pandemic. So they bought them.
Pretty much.
Yeah. You're going to be working with people you own. That's the same thing. But we're getting a little bit off track because Brucey actually came up with a good question on Facebook that I think we need to address. And this is, it was about the cleaner himself being AEW World Champion. And I think once he's done with the side question, I'm gonna let him ask it because it was rather awesome and I enjoyed it.
Jesus, you want me to go back and find that?
And I think
He's actually
gonna love the
scrolling, you
answer.
guys.
Actually, on the book face.
You're on the Book of Face? Wow.
Yeah, I'm on
It
the
was
book
the one
of
about
face.
Kenny
Face of
Omega.
books?
Yeah, I know. I can't fucking remember how it went. All right.
Poor Brucey.
All right.
Okay, he's got it.
It's
You
all
got it.
good.
You got it.
It's all good. I got it.
By the way, thanks everybody for being in the chat. Give him a couple extra minutes. Let him get set. All right, Brucey, ask away.
So, I brought this up in group, and we had talked about because me and Dom had done a Kenny Omega special. It was like a 10-minute special where, we just wanted to talk about Kenny Omega because he was a big thing in the news, how he wasn't really being the cleaner that the true wrestling fans
like where's the
want to
cleaner?
see. Like, where's the cleaner? And we said it, it looks like, we are getting that Kenny now, and that Kenny that we want is there. But my question and my concern is my only concern with this version of Kenny in AEW is who truly is good enough to beat the real cleaner, like the New Japan cleaner, like
because New Japan had guys who would go like Okada, who would go like an hour with him and not win. And those guys were like throughout the roster. And who on the AEW roster is, other than Moxley, is
like
equipped,
certifiable, like you can look at this person and be like and be justified saying, okay, I can see that guy actually beating him and justify it.
Right. I don't know if he remembers my answer, but my first thought.
There was so many.
My first thought when Brucey asked this question, and I knew he was going to love this. My first thought was MJF.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Look at the barn burner he had with Moxley that went a good 45 or so minutes.
This is true.
Look at the match. Go back to the match with Jungle Boy. That was a good half an hour plus, and that was Jungle Boy. Like, what else has Jungle Boy done? But he went a half an hour with MJF. And you got to think like maybe that dude carried that match to get it to a half an hour. Look at the war he had with Cody. That was one of those back
match
and forth.
He had with Jericho.
The match with Jericho was another one. MJF, I know. Believe me, everybody knows. Obviously, the boy talks a lot of shit. But when you go back and you look at these matches, and I'm saying this so Bruce doesn't have to look like a mark and all that because it's me saying it. Go back to these matches, watch the wars that took place, and most of them MJF either won or maybe should have won, including the Moxley match. So first name that came off the top of my head was MJF, and that's why.
I'll give this
plus
to
I want Brucey to love me. I've been busting his balls lately.
I'll give this to MJF. He may talk the most shit of anybody ever, but he can back his shit up.
Exactly.
Those writing checks that he can't cash people.
No, there's a reason.
He walks it.
There is a reason that man runs his mouth the way that he does, because he can get in the ring and he can back it up against damn near anyone. And Omega is included in that anyone. So I could see that. I know Peter had and maybe bringing it up again. He said Pac and he said it again. And I could totally see that, because going back to pre-cleaner Kenny in AEW, and I know, but going back to that first match Pac had with Kenny was a 45-minute back and forth knockdown drag out that Pac won. Like didn't make him tap out, knocked him cold in a submission move. Second match was an almost hour-long match that Kenny won by this much, and he basically had that was the first glimpse of the cleaner that we saw, and it was just enough to beat Pac by that much.
By like a hair, just a fucking hair.
Yeah, like we're talking, 3.000001 seconds. He won that match. Another 1/10 of a second, and Pac's kicking out. So, and not only that, go back and look at what Pac has done since leaving WWE. Before he showed up in AEW, he was undefeated for like a fucking year or two, and fought everyone. So, I think he'd go the distance. I think, and I know when you look at him, you don't really see it, but being the hard ass that he is, Eddie Kingston is another one.
Oh yeah,
he could give Moxley one of those matches.
He would give him hell.
Eddie Kingston can give anyone the kind of match they want. He's that kind of vet. If you want the big strong style knockdown, drag out, hour-long blood war,
Kingston
will give you that shit.
Kingston may be a shit talker
now,
in gimmick and IRL, but the man is a consummate professional in his.
He is a vet,
and he dresses like an asshole.
I was just about to say, he will do it while being dressed like an asshole, like Brucey said, but he will still like fucking do it.
Asshole.
I fucking love it.
Now that I've given Brucey, I might sound like a little bit of a mark when I say this, but now that I've given it to Brucey, another guy in AEW who has proven he can hang with Moxley. I mean, not Moxley, Omega. Maybe not beat him just yet, but can hang. Pentagon. He had a tremendous match at All Out. He had a tremendous match in the finals on Dynamite. If they put him in a ring for the AEW title with Kenny, he's going to give Kenny everything he can take and then some.
Here's one for you that put on an amazing match with Kenny Omega on a television broadcast is Trent.
Oh yeah.
That's not bad either. PETA is asking, what about Darby or Scorpio Sky?
Darby can suck the farts out.
Darby, no.
Scorpio Sky though.
I don't see Darby doing it. At
Scorpio,
least not yet.
I could see.
Scorpio Sky, yeah, I could see that.
Well, beat him, but it'll give him hell.
Sky was always good, but he's come a long way in singles competition.
I gotta agree with PETA on this one. Orange
Cassidy.
No. He is sneaky.
Do you really think though?
Not in a bad way, in an unexpected way. People are like, oh, he's gonna lose, and then boom, surprise, the motherfucker whips out
and
from his asshole. I don't know, and he just fucking does it.
Cassidy has had some wars in AEW, some wars with Pac, some wars with Jericho. He's Darby, Cody.
When my mom and match, she was like, "Who is this guy? Where did he come from? And what in the hell just happened?" Oh my god!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he had a couple of wars with Cody. We know Cody was in New Japan and fought Kenny and lost, but still. So Orange Cassidy might be that guy.
It doesn't seem believable.
I'm not sold on it because it doesn't. Yeah, exactly, Bruce.
I don't see him winning. By no means.
I have seen him have an amazing match, but not winning.
But you're saying
agreed.
You're saying someone that could win. You're asking for someone that could not only hang with him but beat him. And the guys I mentioned, Orange Cassidy, maybe. I'm not sold on it yet. I'm close because he's definitely surprised me a lot, as PETA just said. And I'm not against it, but he's still got a little bit to prove to me before I can say, oh yeah, he'd take Kenny. Like he's got John Silver. Fuck yeah.
Peter, I love you.
Dark Horse, baby. Just fire plug. That motherfucker get in there and give Kenny that one-arm gorilla press and shit.
Right.
Blow your mind. I don't know if Silver can. I don't know if Silver can go into those deep waters. He's never really done that.
No.
Not in the Indies.
I think that water is a little too deep for his short
He might drown. It's funny. It's not bad. I like where you're going with that. But
well, you never know. You never know. He seems like he could probably float in those deep waters at least.
Oh, you know what? Sting. No, I'm kidding.
No. Kenny would.
Because that was also brought up, like, again, I know we talked about it a little bit, but Chris was saying, like, should they put the AEW title on Sting? No.
No.
Not at 61. No.
Give it to the youngins.
The last time he held any title was back in like TNA, and he was maybe Jericho's age. So if he had came in, like if we could somehow go in the Wayback Machine and pull that guy out and have him,
The
then
Wayback
yes.
Machine.
But like 61, no. I would rather them put it on Dustin Rhodes before Sting, to be honest. Because like Sting's had his runs, he's done all that. Name one world title that Dustin Rhodes has ever won. Ever.
I bet he's
Yeah.
had some indie titles.
Well, not really. Because his whole career he's been like WCW, WWE, AEW, maybe a quick stopover in Impact. It
He
didn't
was
even
at
win the
NWA.
NWA title. Like
Who?
he's never won that big major main title in his career, which has gone 4 or 5 decades now. He's wrestled in 5 different decades, still never won a major championship. Mid card, yes. So if anything,
5.
put it on
He's in
Dustin.
his 5th decade.
Put it on Dustin before Sting.
I don't
Sting's
think
had
Sting
it.
wants
Sting's
the
won
titles
titles
anymore.
everywhere. I don't think he wants to either.
I
That's
think
why I'm
Sting
saying
is just there
give it
for
to Dustin.
like
Let
the
him have
fun
his
now.
moment.
He's there. He wants to help build a company. He wants to do what
Yes.
he failed to do in Impact,
Yes.
or what he probably feels like he failed to do.
He probably feels like he failed. I think Impact kind of failed him. But that's a whole different story. Like it's sad, but still, I know Dustin kind of takes that on himself. Regardless, like I didn't make this happen, but it wasn't really you. But you feel like it was you, and that's what drives him, and that's why he's still around in his 50s and in shamrock shape.
Are you picking out certain pieces out of the bag now?
Yeah, I just wanted a peanut. Supposedly,
I was what
It's a
the
sweet-
fuck is she doing?
it's a
Y'all
sweet and
gonna make
salty
me start
snack
eating.
mix, and it has mini peanut butter filled pretzel nuggets, half
Damn,
dipped
kid.
chocolate chip potato chips, or chocolate covered, half dipped chocolate covered potato chips.
Seriously, I thought the kid left a full bag of Scooby snacks on the table.
The hell he did.
Empty.
Just
Chocolate
go.
drizzled caramel popcorn and roasted and salted Virginia peanuts.
Damn.
Nice.
Sounds like a
But
great
yeah,
breakfast.
it's like it's still it's going to be Showtime again. It's never going to be title time for Sting again. It's not.
Yeah.
But we probably will see him wrestle here and there. But no,
He's going to be building and training and helping people in the back and stuff like that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah,
Dustin.
teaching and stuff. Yeah.
like Dustin does. Even Taz here and there, like just have their moments, go in the back, work with the young talent, have their help out on TV here and there, get those numbers up, because AEW's numbers were damn good. Like they slaughtered NXT. It wasn't even close. And for good reason.
Winter definitely came for NXT.
Yeah, winter came, and it was a cold ass winter for NXT.
Yes, it was.
Like
I was
something like
thinking-
900 and some thousand to 600,000. Like, damn, y'all.
I was thinking right now of Bruce's question and wondering, like, if they do crossovers, when they do crossovers, and the man himself, Eli Drake, shows up, I can see him taking on Kenny.
That would be
Yes.
fucking phenomenal.
Yes.
I would
Right?
love that.
And you know what?
I'd
Not only
watch that
that,
shit.
I think James Storm would be one of those guys that could go with Kenny. You remember he had the
Oh,
2
hell
out
yeah.
of 3 falls match with Nick Aldis at Hard Times, was it? Or maybe it was
Yeah,
Into the
yeah,
Fire.
yeah. It was
No, it was
hard
Into the
time.
Fire. Hard Times was the TV tournament. My bad. But the first NWA pay-per-view had the 2 out of 3 falls match that lasted a good hour, and so I could see him going the distance with Kenny and maybe taking him. It wouldn't be the first world title he won, so
No.
But
Yeah, there's just
I mean, God, even like again, you might be throwing those NWA guys in there too. So like, what if Nick Aldis wants to be a double champ? He'd go. I can see him beating Kenny. We know he can go an hour. He did it with Cody.
All right. I've been biting my freaking tongue and saving this. Can we do that what if question?
Yes, please go right ahead.
Release
All
the
right.
mule.
All right. So Dom, if this goes good, we may bring this back every once in a while.
I'm good with that.
What if section. So
I like it.
Welcome to the first ever What If with Talk for Wrestling Talk.
I was about to say ladies and gentlemen, but I just mean gentlemen because I'm here with two guys talking about wrestling.
I'm the
Oh, we
prettiest
will,
guy you'll
Peter,
ever
we
fucking
will.
meet.
Yes. So here's my what if question for you guys. So what if you guys were given $500 million to either invest or purchase or build a wrestling organization, but you could only spend it on wrestling. You can't spend it anywhere else. So when I say spend it on wrestling, I mean television, traveling, a talent, all of that. So when you think about all of that, 500 million is really not that much money when you're paying for everything.
It's basically Tony Khan money, as far as I know.
It is.
Or Khan family money.
Khan family.
Yeah. So I'll kick this off with mine because I don't want to save it for last. I kind of want to get it out there because it's been eating at me the whole
biting
show.
your tongue. I get it. Go ahead.
Yes.
This is your thought. Let's do
Go,
it.
homie.
So if I was given this 500 million, I would start a single show. I wouldn't start a company. I wouldn't start anything like that. I mean, it would turn into a company, but I wouldn't own any rights to talent. I would get a television deal with with a network or whatnot, and I would pull MLW. I would pull all these other ones: Impact, AEW, NWA, MLW, Chaotic. I would go there, and I would basically have a live show on television, basically called basically a territory show. This show is basically based off of territories. It's a super show, but it's more of like a territory because you've got Impact in Canada, you've got AEW in Florida, you got Chaotic in New England, territory, breaking it back down into territories, but then taking talent and giving everyone those matches they want on one show, but they're also traveling to each other. They can also still travel in between shows as well, but there's this one just center hub show that travels the country, and it's all mixed talent from everywhere. So we'll get Richard Holiday versus, I don't know, friggin' Rich Swann or whatnot. We'll get all these crossover matches that we want from all of these companies in one show, 1 2-hour show on network television.
Right? Like, we'll find a way to get the Young Bucks versus the Rascals if it kills us.
Exactly. Well, no, because the Rascals have 2/3 of the Rascals are in NXT.
No, I know, but you poach from WWE like WWE used to poach from the territories. It's karma.
and like
I'm sure the E has these like ironclad contracts where poaching is not happening.
Well, the stipulation to the companies to get everyone to the show, because if you go to someone like, hey, I want to use your talent, they're like, ha ha ha, go fuck yourself. It's like pretty much there's no contract. Like, I give no contracts. It's almost like an independent show. I invite you to come wrestle on my show, and then I pay you, and you go back to where you came from.
Okay.
I pay you $20, a stale hot dog, and a flat Coke.
It's almost like
friend.
It's almost like what Lucha Underground was doing, where they were poaching guys from AAA, poaching guys from like PWG and wherever, and putting them on their show. And then once their show was done, they were like, "Okay, go back to where we were. Bye." And then when they kicked back on, it was like, "Okay, here's your money. Come back."
All right, Wendy, what would you do with your 500 mil?
Well, I'm very irresponsible with money and impulsive with my choices and decisions in life. So I wouldn't really think much about this. And I would just go ahead and revive Lucha Underground and be like, we're taking it off of El Rey Network because that can suck the farts out my ass.
Yeah, fuck El Rey.
Because that was dumb as hell.
You killed Lucha Underground.
Exactly. We're going to find a better network, even if it's some random one like Access. Have y'all ever watched the other programming on Access?
No.
Not really.
Makes no fucking sense.
It's weird. Yeah. It's very
so,
weird.
I wouldn't care
MMA
if it was some
followed
sort of
by
network
country
like
concerts. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. And now we're gonna spend an hour and a half talking about the Who. Like, okay, fine, whatever.
Like,
whatever. But that's what I would do with my money. We're bringing back Lucha Underground. We're finding a valid channel to put it on. And we're gonna make this happen. And we're bringing back Robert Rodriguez because he actually was great for production and all that stuff. The man had great ideas. We're bringing back everybody and anybody who wants to be involved. We're doing it. We're doing the whole thing. The
Like
temple is coming
like Mark
back.
Burnett, get over here. Dario, we need you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vampiro, I need you on commentary.
Even
Without
Jeff
all
Cobb ain't really
hesitation.
signed anywhere. You're Matanza again. Get your ass
You're,
in.
you're back. You're back.
with all that money, do you make it a traveling show at this point? Take the temple with you?
Ooh, yes.
Ooh,
The temple is on the road, and we're doing this
Oh,
evangelical church revival style under tents.
Please get Matt Stryker and Vampiro back on commentary.
Of course. You're
I love
high
those
if you
guys.
think I'm not doing that.
Am I the only one that used to do the drinking game with Vampiro whenever he said brother? You just
My word of choice was brutal. Whenever he was like brutal,
brutal.
I'd be like, yeah.
But he literally in one show he said like every time I heard that every time I said brother, people out there are drinking. So brother. I was like, yes.
That would be my
yeah,
thing.
that was
We're
great.
bringing it back. LU would return.
Oh, return of LU, my heart.
We would hit the
Oh.
road, and it would be under like this insane looking like church revival circus tent thing.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy.
Like I don't know if I do, like I have an idea. I don't know if I do a road show just yet. I think that would probably have to wait till all this bullshit settles. That would be the caveat for me.
Oh, this
But
is all fantasy.
let's say
Yeah.
let's
In our
just
fantasy
let's
world,
start
the
with
Rona doesn't exist.
let's start with I have this money and I can do whatever I want. First thing I'm doing, because I got money now, so I got people. I have my secretary making phone calls, setting up meetings, and the two
Administrative assistant, secretary is an outdated term, sir.
my bad.
It implies you're
Executive
banging her.
assistant. Like it's a difference. You're still getting me coffee. What's the difference? Anyway, I have her making phone calls and I have her setting up a meeting. And when I walk into that conference room, there's going to be two people sitting there. Those two people are Tony Khan and Billy Corgan. And I'm going to look at Billy, number one, and I'm not going to call him Billy. It's going to be William. I have
Mr.
all
William
this money.
Patrick Corgan.
I have all this money, William. I want to invest in your product. I want to know what you're doing with him first. So we're going to hash all that out. We're going to make sure that this NWA AEW merger is solid. Like, okay, if we're there, okay, Tony, TK, look at me. Stop looking at your phone. Stop playing like Angry Birds or whatever the shit. I know you're busy, man. Come here. Focus. When's this next show coming out? What network is it on? Because if you don't have one, I'm going to give you one. TBS 605 NWA AEW Super Show. We're the best from both brands, men, women, tag team, doesn't matter. Collide. All TV titles get defended. I don't care if it's NWA or TNT. Get defended every week on this show.
We're doing it. Make it happen.
If all that's in place, here's my money. We are all now partners. It's me, TK, and Willie.
All of it. All of it.
And we got back our traditional NWA time and show and network with an AEW flair.
Hell yeah.
And people would eat that shit up. And then eventually I'd start, once if we're talking fantasy, like if this bullshit is over, eventually I'd go back to doing the traditional like NWA baseball stadium shows, like stadium stampedes and shit. You pack baseball stadiums, you put the ring right in the middle, and people are fighting all over the goddamn field. In fact, the first one, the main event of that stadium stampede show would be what we were all waiting for before the pandemic. Blood and guts match between NWA and AEW. Both sides, men and
blood
women.
And guts.
Blood and guts. AEW women and men put teams together, get it, and we settle this shit.
So that would be amazing, but I just had an epiphany. We're not going to have an NWA versus AEW Blood and Guts. We're going to get an Impact versus AEW Blood and Guts.
We're probably closer to that, but
I'm okay with all of it.
In the world of the Psycho,
yes,
it would be all traditional.
Absolutely.
It would be Blood and Guts, NWA versus AEW. Get a men's team and a women's team, and you go to war.
Like all of this.
Like,
it's
God, man, like, oh, the Inner Circle is going to take on Strictly Business in a Blood and Guts match. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Just don't bring Big Papa Pump. Whatever you do, keep him out.
No. He can
stay home.
No.
We don't need him. He's not getting paid. He's not getting my money. If Willie wants to throw him a dime, that's on him, but he ain't getting my money. No, there will be no
You know what?
Steiner
You know
getting
what?
paid. Rick Steiner might get paid. Rick Steiner's son will get paid from me before Scott.
I ain't gonna lie though. I ain't gonna lie. If this happened, if like in this fantasy world, I'd probably come out with like a little suit and a cowboy hat and like the shiniest cowboy boots you'd ever seen, little buckle and everything. Just get started with it. Be like, all right, boys, we got a show tonight. You
And
ready?
you know what, Peter? Since I said going into this that I was going to mention it, that I was going to mention them, we could even have like a culture clash between the Rock and Roll Express and the Acclaimed. You got rock versus hip hop right in the middle of a baseball stadium.
Reading the
You got
comments,
old
I like
school versus fucking new school because the Acclaimed are some shit, folks. I've been watching them on Dark. They popped up on Dynamite yesterday. Max did his little rap and everything, about the Young Bucks, and I was just like, "Damn,
shit was
dude,
goofy as
you
fuck.
kill! Are
I'm
you
not
kidding me? You
sold.
killed that shit."
It's goofy.
Go back to Dark. Compared to the
saw
stuff
it.
he was doing on Dark,
I saw it on
it's
Dark,
tame.
and that shit was goofy.
It was not.
I like Felipe's idea. He says, quote, I would do a South American pro wrestling company, put it on TV on all of South America, and would do trades with Japan, Mexico, UK, and US, making the shows across all the continents.
Wow. No, that would be good too.
He's thinking globally. I'm over here like, I'm going in a tent, y'all.
Yeah. And honestly, like if Tony and William don't want all my money, it's like that's cool. Let's get MLW in on this. Call Court. Let's get Court in here. Let's talk.
We'll get everybody up in this
We're
bit.
gonna add Contra to that blood and guts match with the Inner Circle and with Strictly Business. Now you're blowing people's fucking mind.
Skata says he would do a wrestling World Cup just to prove that British wrestling is best.
Oh, good for you, dude. And some days I kind of agree. Especially
Felipe just corrected me. He says it would be a focus on South America, and it would just to be like to raise up South American wrestling. We're not thinking globally, but it does feel globally because it's like
It's globally to us.
exactly.
To us, because we're Americans, it feels global.
Yeah,
but we're all uncultured swine anyway. So
I mean, yeah, I'm
there
pretty
is
crazy.
Now
I'm pretty uncultured.
Since we've had the
I wear a scarf.
Since we had the high class corner going on here with the what ifs and the Kenny comments and stuff, I feel like we should continue this because he after our Survivor Series live stream fell apart and Brucey barely made it past the intro, he dropped a nice little video on social media this week about Roman Reigns because Devin was supposed to confront him as to what he had against Roman Reigns. And in case people watching now or later on Fox 10 Productions or listening on Anchor don't know about the video, I would like to give Bruce the floor and give him a second to explain what he's got against Roman Reigns, because shockingly, I think he makes some good points.
First of all, Dom, you can back me on this. I've never liked Roman. Never have, never will.
No, you and I never really did, like, from jump. And we did say that he was going to turn, that he should turn heel, but even then,
I'm totally stoked about the whole heel turn. Like, as a wrestling fan, it's not how I wanted it to happen. So that's part of my hate towards it, because I'm a wrestling fan and I want everything now and my way.
Okay.
And that didn't happen. So
enough,
I'm kind of pissed off about that. But the biggest thing for me, and I explained it in the video, is WWE has prided themselves on an anti-bullying campaign for over a decade, maybe longer than that.
Be a star,
Exactly. And here you are with your biggest star, your biggest heel, and you turn him into a bully. Exactly what you guys have gone against for, like I said, over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
You literally have him telling a family member, I'm going to kick you out of the family if you don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do that, like basically saying you're a piece of shit. Like, hey, get out of my face. I don't want to see you right now. And the dude turns and just walks away and does what he says. Like,
okay, Daddy Roman.
If
Juicy as he won, out.
Seriously.
If that's not like being hypocritical of your own company, I don't know what is. And the other thing is we talk about, the Young Bucks killed the business. These guys
Well, I
killed
don't
the
know if we
business.
do.
These guys killed the business. They killed kayfabe. Blah, blah, blah. No, if you stop and actually look at the last pay-per-view, Survivor Series, WWE's been killing the business long before these guys came around and were famous.
Yep.
You got this evil bully heel in Roman Reigns on TV being an asshole, telling his cousin to hold this cup while he takes a leak in it because that's what he's gonna do because that's his character. And then you see him in a commercial running around with kids. Oh, leukemia! Like, dude, cool. Like, we know you got it. That's not that. You can't portray yourself one thing on
it's
TV
the
and then
opposite
go to
of
a
what Peter
commercial
was
and be
saying.
the other person.
It's the opposite of what Peter was saying earlier when we were talking about AEW keeping kayfabe alive. Like, you're fucking killing it.
They're killing it. They've killed it before anybody else, and it drives me crazy. Like you, I don't know. Maybe I just look into this shit too much. Like I look too deep into it. But it's like people are eating this up, saying it's awesome. But I don't know if I'm just trying to find ways to tear down WWE. But like,
I gotta be honest,
I
bro.
don't know.
I don't think that you are, because I'm gonna back up your point and I'm gonna take it a few steps further. This whole Be a Star campaign that they've had, some of their biggest spokespeople during this campaign are Sheamus and Nia Jax. Who are the biggest bullies in the last few years? Who are bigger bullies than Sheamus and Nia Jax? Nobody. But they're all out doing Be a Star campaigns and talking about how they were bullied because they were different and this and that and the other. Then why are you in a ring bullying people?
Look at how Nia Jax is treating Lana at Survivor Series.
Yes.
The whole damn time
this ring, unless I tell you, you stand on that step.
The whole lead up to it, all the way through it, just bullying the shit out of her and putting her through tables 9 straight weeks. And then you're doing Be a Star campaigns and talking about how people used to pick on you because you were different. Which one is it? It's exactly like Bruce said. WWE is truly killing the business because they are killing kayfabe by doing stuff like this and then portraying things in the ring. If you're telling people not to be a bully, then turn these people face somehow. But you don't. You keep having them bully people and then tell people not to fucking bully each other or what it did to you when you were a kid. That makes no goddamn sense. And on top of it, like Bruce said, I know he was mad about the heel turn because it didn't go the way he wanted. I never wanted the Usos, who are one of the best tag teams in WWE history, to turn into Juicy Usi 1 and Juicy Usi 2 Roman's bitches. They are on the same
only Juicy
level.
Usi 1 is. Juicy Usi 2 is like, free my brother.
I know Juicy Usi, but eventually he's going to fall in line too, and they're both going to be Roman's bitches, and they are nobody's bitches. You can't say you live in the Uso penitentiary and then be somebody's bitches. That's hypocritical in itself. I don't care if it's family or not.
That's not even hypocritical. That's just being bitch made.
No, if anything, if you're in charge of the penitentiary, you're putting people on lockdown and you're making them your bitches, you cannot turn around and be somebody else's bitch. Fair enough?
Well, you're no longer running that penitentiary.
Exactly. Roman is, and you're just running along like, you need more cigarettes, daddy.
It's holding
because if you wanted to do something, you should have done something like Big Quiche did with the Samoan Dynasty, where you put together a bunch of people. They're all on the same level. They're kicking everybody else's ass. It's a strong heel faction. What you put together was basically some cultured version of Paul and Bork, and you added the Usos as like as Roman's bitches. Just like if somebody was running with Brock back when he was with Paul, they would be Brock's bitch.
Yeah.
And the Usos are well beyond that. Well beyond that. It's like, could you imagine if all of a sudden Bobby Lashley, like in Hurt Business, is treating MVP and Shelton Benjamin like they're his bitches? Like, no, man, I'm a vet. I've done some shit in my career too. I've probably done more than you.
He put in,
and with the Usos,
you gotta be treated like that.
With the Usos, and everything they've done as a team, like, that might be true. Sorry, Roman. Hate to tell you. You know what the Usos could do that you couldn't? Get the fuck over. That's one. Wrestle is 2.
Just saying.
I'm just saying. So they are beyond the Roman Reigns bitch level. And that's what made me mad about the heel turn. If they would have came out as a faction, you know, like united together and kicking ass and
Like
helping Roman
family
keep the title,
stronger than
like, yeah, blood is thicker than whatever the fuck, then I would have been all for it, because that's
Yeah.
the heel turn I imagine. But this is ugh.
that's
Like
the
you're
heel turn I wanted.
Oh, but yes, exactly. That's the one I wanted too.
Yeah, that's what
Instead,
we wanted.
he's the head of the table, but the table is full of bitches. Paul Heyman and the bitchy little Usos, whatever you say, Daddy Roman. Like, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just
You don't
I,
even
I
let
don't
Paul
know.
talk anymore. So what the fuck?
That I think that's the other thing that pisses me off is all they did is a cut and paste with Paul Heyman. Like
Just
they
take it from Bork and put it on ramen.
pretty much, and I don't know. I was hoping that Heyman would have a whole different tagline to go for Roman, because Paul's a pretty smart guy in this business. Like, he should know that maybe I should come up with something else instead of using what I used for Roman.
Believe me,
For
I know.
For Brock
I know
Bork.
Paul is a smart guy. He proved it when he was running Raw, and I was enjoying the shit out of it. Now the brother love has taken his spot. I'm not really enjoying it as much.
Yeah,
No,
to be
Paul
fair,
is
like
smart.
we don't know
but
how much
Paul's not in control.
leeway they're giving Paul.
They're not.
fair.
I know. Like, they're
To be
not.
fair.
This is what Vince wants you to do. Go. Recycled ideas are Vince McMahon's specialty. So of course this is his idea, and Paul's just going along with it because he signs the check. And if not, Paul's broke. You know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I don't see AEW but beating down his door, but Kadrian actually, I think, added to our point, whereas like Vince always does. He said Vince always does that, Bruce. Like when they originally started the Be a Star campaign and they had Lay Cole. Lay Cole was bullying the shit out of Mickey James. And that's absolute fact. And after that, Nia was, and she was in the Be a Star campaign.
Yeah.
So like now you got Roman with the cancer kids, and then you got Roman doing this shit. You got Sheamus talking about being bullied, and then he's bullying littler guys like Chad Gable.
That's such a mixed message to send to.
Mm-hmm.
That's really foul. I don't appreciate that.
You read my
have kids,
fucking
and
mind,
I'm like,
girl.
what even is this, man?
You read my fucking mind, because they
You're
always
not-
talk about they're worried about family program and keeping kids and all this shit, and then you're sending this type of message to a small child, like don't bully people, be a star. But then the stars in our company that said that are out here bullying motherfuckers. Like that fucks a kid up. Sorry.
I'm gonna fuck Jose's whole night up because I'm gonna compare two companies.
Uh-oh. You just got him to leave. Thanks, Bruce.
Listen, AEW isn't gonna send MJF to do Make-A-Wish.
No.
And here's the thing: if they do, there will be zero fucking cameras there to catch it.
Exactly.
Yep.
You will never hear about it. Like, he might do it on the low, but you never
Like,
hear. Have you ever heard MJF say a nice word since he signed with AEW?
I mean, come on. There was that meet and greet, and there's video
with the kid
comes up, and he's flipping the kid off.
Flipping the kid off.
And Wardlow's looking like, the fuck is even happening?
And I'm just
like
sitting there like,
nicest
that's
guy.
MJF.
I caught a video of him. Some chick went up to him with an 8x10 of him and asked him to sign it. He goes, "To whore from MJF," and handed it to her.
Yeah. That's what I mean. They do
He
exactly what
lives
Peter said.
that
They
gimmick.
keep kayfabe alive.
Yep.
You know, you could put Cody Rhodes on a talent show and have him be a judge and make jokes and laugh and hang out with Snoop Dogg, but you couldn't
That's
do
his
that
character.
because that's his character. But you couldn't. But if it was MJF, now we're talking WWE level. Like, oh, you're a shit heel. Go out here and make people laugh on this weird talent show. Like, that would be Vince's idea. But AEW does not do that. Impact doesn't do that.
Mm-mm.
They just don't. Nobody else does. WWE does, because WWE is all about sports entertainment, and every other promotion is about wrestling. And I know people say there's no difference, but if you watch it, there's a fucking difference.
Even Vince said it. When they were talking about the Monday Night Wars on that special show they have on
They're wrestling. We're sports entertainers.
Turner called Vince and said, "Hey, I'm in the wrestling business." He's like,
good for you.
I'm in the sports entertainment business.
Exactly. And again, if it was just Brucey on a video that said I hate Roman because he sucks, and the video ended, I would have just left it there. But he made a damn good point, and I didn't want to tell him, but I was actually going to have his back on this one, because when I saw it, the first thing I thought about was the Be a Star campaign and all the people like Lay Cool or Naya or Sheamus who were on it and talking about not bullying people, how they were bullied, and then they're on a TV show bullying people. If you're that worried about kids, you don't put that kind of image out there.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you're just using kids as a reason to keep your shit watered down.
You're better off going back to TNA matches, tits and ass matches.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
pillow fights.
Exactly.
Bra and panties matches, mud
t-shirt
wrestling,
contests.
Dance off.
At least you were being real at that point. Like, here, we're just going to show you some tits. Put your kids to bed.
Pretty much.
Like, I'm okay with that. At least, because again, at least it feels like the thing that stuck out about the Attitude Era was you wondered if some of this shit was like actually real. Like, this shit might happen. Not all of it. Some of it was over the top. I don't think they chopped Val Venus's dick off, but I'm just saying.
No, there was
some
no
of the
choppy.
stuff, like the Ministry and Vince McMahon and Stephanie and all that. You thought like
crucifying
really
Stephanie.
That was
the best.
Shit. Taker really wants to destroy Vince. Look at this shit.
Right?
And of course, then Vince pops up as
I'm the leader.
It was me, Austin. But up to that point, you're like, wow, this shit might actually be happening. Like, Taker really does want to fuck Vince up. This is crazy. Or Stone Cold with all the shit with Mike Tyson and Vince McMahon and that kind of stuff. And you're like, man, he really does hate these motherfuckers. Like, I wish I could punch my boss. This is some fucked up shit, and this might actually be happening.
I want to hit my boss with a stunner.
Right? Who didn't at that point? Like, I wanted to walk in Tuesday morning after watching Raw and just kick my boss in the stomach. Bah!
I think I crotch chopped every teacher in my high school.
Oh my God, yeah. Who did it? I did it.
Oh, yeah.
My gym teacher would be like, Wendy, run a mile. I'd be like, suck it, teacher. And I'd like run opposite direction with my little fat ass.
Right.
Fuck.
Stop talking to that cute girl and get to class before I give you detention. Suck it, motherfucker. I'm trying to get some.
I'm gonna call your mom. She works for the county.
My mom will tell you to suck
I did that.
I'm
she
not
would too.
Gonna lie. I actually got a unsportsmanlike conduct in a football game for doing that after I got a sack.
Yeah, I caught a touchdown pass and I got clocked by a safety in the end zone. Like, just he thought he knocked me cold. He's standing over me and shit. I jumped up, told him, spiked the ball, told him to suck it, got flagged. I didn't give a fuck. It still counted.
I mean, I never played sports, but I definitely told a lot of people to suck it.
Like, that motherfucker deserved it.
My dad did one time when it was one of those take your kids to work day.
Even Peter had said
something, and my dad was like, "Hey, Mija, what do we say?" And I was like, "Suck it," right to it.
But even Peter has said, TK has done pretty good at staying silent and staying off
for the most
TV.
part, yeah.
Because he has said from the very beginning, I am not going to be an on-air personality, and you may have heard his voice like one Dynamite, like they didn't even show him. They just heard, you were at the door and he's talking to Moxley about the unsanctioned match with Kenny Omega way back when. And you heard his voice. Outside of that, you never hear Tony. You never see him.
If you
just
do
hear that he's
see him on
this,
TV,
or you see a tweet or something.
No, but if you do see him on TV, it's like in the background and him just being like,
yeah,
like, I don't exist. Don't look at me, kind of thing.
Because there were a lot of people that thought like, oh, Tony Khan's gonna pull the old evil Vince McMahon routine and try to be the star of the show. And he
surprised
said from the
Tony Khan is too nice for his own.
Like, that's not me. He's like, that's just not what I'm about. I'm gonna focus on my talent. Like, I don't need to be out there, and he hasn't.
There was an episode of BTE right after AEW started when fans were still there. You know how they always had that moment when they were in ROH, they were all in the ring at the end of the show talking to the fans. Cody had Tony come out one day and he was like saying, "Hey, here's Tony Khan, thank him," and he's all like,
and he's just kind of like, "I'm not here."
Slinking.
Yeah,
slinking out the frame, like
he's like this.
No,
he's like this with his jacket.
No.
It's so painfully adorable.
But but that's at least he said it. He's stuck to it. And you got to.
And he's like that across the board, because if you look at him with Fulham Football Club, You don't see him there. He'll tweet out like, thanks for your support and things like that.
Mhm.
Not there.
Hobo Clown said they had a special desk for me in the office because I did the chop so damn much.
That does not surprise me.
Nope, not shocked at all. It's
Not at
funny,
all.
but I'm not
Mm-mm.
shocked at all. Not even a little bit. But yeah, it was it was definitely when I saw it. But again, when I saw the video, I was like, we got to talk about this. So I'm glad we got it in. Speaking of getting it in, I think we pretty much got in everything we could do.
Yeah, we did.
Because we were going to talk about war games, and then we thought, why don't we come back, do a kickoff? We've still got a little bit of this raffle going. We've got more names coming in, so why don't we try to
Raffle.
extend it through the weekend and see what happens? See if we get some more peeps coming in. See if we get some more names, because we got a ton today, like a metric ton. And I was like, okay, maybe we need to give this a little bit more time, because I'm not ready to announce the winner today by far. I don't think anybody is. So we'll come back. We'll do a kickoff show for War Games. Maybe we'll do the raffle then too. It depends if Kirby's around. We'll bring the match.
If you don't know what we're
online.
talking about,
That's
check
where I was
our
going.
announcements and check our Twitter. There's stuff about it there. Submit, please.
Yes, you'll see a pin to the Twitter page. You'll see it up in our Facebook group. I don't know if it's on the gram or not. It might be. If not, Merchmaker tagged us in her post on the gram, so you can check there. But we still got it going on. We got a ton of names today. We're hoping to get a few more in and get organized and get the raffle, because like today was supposed to be the day, and then people started just say, I went in.
Raffle,
There it is.
Here goes. We
There
were
it is.
tagged in it. It's not on our Insta, but we were tagged on it. So check us
Right.
out, y'all.
Right. We've got a couple of shirts that we're raffling off. We're not going to do both to one person. So put in whether you want just, I'll take design number 1, or I'll take design number 2, or put me in for both. But nobody's getting both shirts. It's just tell us which one you like, and we'll put your name down, and we'll eventually like draw them out of a hat, or I'll make a wheel. We'll spin it. 2 people get it.
Yep.
That sort of thing. So that's gonna be fun. I know we got a lot of people in. I'm hoping for a few more. Come on, guys. Free shit.
Do it.
Free shit. Just pay shipping, which is not expensive.
No.
Like free shirt, pay $5, we'll ship it out to you. Boom. Maybe you throw it on, take a picture, put a video up, like you guys rock. Something. You don't have to, but something. That'd be cool. That's all we're asking.
Yep.
Word.
So definitely check that out on our social medias, which leads me to queuing in the high class one over here to give everybody our social medias. So in case you don't know, you can go find them. You can go find these raffles, and you can get in on them too. And Cadrian, tell us which one you want if you're still in the chat.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Social medias. I'm doing this different. Don't jump on me if something changes. Okay.
Okay.
Surprise me here.
Surprise.
Go for it.
So
You're trying to change up everything tonight.
yes, I am. I'm trying to revamp. Exciting. New.
New.
Do it.
2020
New shiny.
shit. So
Do it, or you
here
can suck it.
Give us the new shiny. Now.
Here you go. You can you can find us on Facebook at Top Rope Wrestling Talk. We are a public group, and you can come in, invite yourself. We will accept, come in, talk anything and all wrestling. Drop your memes, drop your comments, drop your fantasy bookings, whatever you want to talk about. We'll
Any kind of
talk about.
questions for our shows?
And we may even bring it up on the show.
Exactly.
Then
We
you
brought
can
a lot of stuff up today.
Then you can find us on Twitter at Top Rope WT. And actually, our Twitter was blowing up today with Impact wrestlers talking about fantasy booking, fantasy matches.
Yeah, which is why we had to get in on it too.
It's kind of a busy day.
It was.
It has been. It
for
really has
Twitter,
been.
for
Great
Twitter.
day,
It-
though.
It really
Mhm.
has. So
Between
you
the
can,
fantasy bookings, the raffles, and everything. I'm like,
Everything. We've just been
wow.
busy little birdies.
I'm feeling like a big deal today. Let's do this shit.
So, and the last 2 places you can find us is on Instagram And our handle on there, bear with me, it's long if you haven't heard this spiel before. It's at top_rope_wrestling_talk. God damn it, I still got it after 2 weeks off. Actually,
Boom.
3 weeks.
Nailed that shit. Yeah, because you barely even made it on the crossover. He said, ladies and gentlemen, and that was it.
And poof.
He was eliminated like faster than anybody in Survivor Series history from the team.
Yeah.
I
And
felt
then,
like
and
Santino
then Wendy
Marella
tried to
in the
hang
Royal
in there.
Rumble.
Like Wendy had my back, but I ended up being the sole
I tried.
survivor.
I tried.
Because 18 titles. That's what I do. I'm not Mark Henry, but that's what I do.
All right, now onto the rest of social medias for us. So if you want to buy our merch, like the 8-bit shirt or anything that you've seen that we've had, the AEW logo style, the MLW style, just any of the styles, I believe we have.
WWRT, what would Rebby tweet? Which
Yes.
that shirt?
Yeah, Rebby,
Yes.
Rebby actually approved. I was like,
She did.
"Wow."
She did.
So
I was
shout out to
hyped.
Rebby Hardy. You're actually pretty cool. I know people give you a lot of shit, but you're actually pretty fucking
I
cool.
wish we could send her a shirt so she could take a picture of it
I'll send
on
it to her
social
right
media.
now. Rebby, if you're listening, hit me with the address. Top Rope
Yeah.
WT. Just follow us. We'll follow you
it's
back with a
actually-
message. Because don't put your address out there in public. No, don't.
That's
do that.
actually one of Kirby's and mine's goals for like the month of December. We will be getting Come Hell or High Water, this t-shirt to her.
We're gonna find a way. I'm gonna help.
We'll find it. Where there's a will, there's a way. And
I'ma
there's
help.
definitely a lot of will.
Here's the thing, Wendy. She's the type of person, if you like messaged her on a personal level, she would probably get back to you. Because she actually seems like that kind of person. And you're
This
a
is true.
female,
This is
you're
true.
not a dude.
And
Well,
I'm Latina, so we got that going together.
Yes.
So
Right?
we can bond
Right?
over
Lots in
this.
common.
Yes.
You guys
I
are
love
like
it.
soulmates.
So if you want to find our merch, now that we've got off track, now we get back on track. If you want to find our merch on Facebook is TRWT merch. Go on there, look at the logos, look at the styles, get in the raffle, get in our holiday special, buy 2, get a mug free. Basically, if you
Yes.
buy a shirt and a hoodie or 2 hoodies or 2
Two
shirts
shirts,
or whatnot, you get a mug
coffee mug
free.
right on top,
right on top of that.
wrapped
for
in the
holiday.
shirt so it doesn't get broke.
Yes.
Or in a lot of tissue.
Yeah.
Stuck in the
One of
hoodie.
the two. One of the
Hoodie's nice and big and fluffy.
Yes, it is. It is hoodie season, y'all. It's getting chilly
It's
out there.
definitely hoodie
Yes,
season.
or-
People
Order
in
a
Florida
hoodie.
are wearing hoodies. Get
I
you
mean-
a hoodie. I'm in a hoodie.
No,
I know I'm
it was
kinda-
in the
I know I
40s
shouldn't probably say
yesterday,
this,
not
but-
Hoodies ain't that bad. Don't be a bitch
I
ass.
probably shouldn't say this,
Bruce.
but
40 ain't nothing. You
I'd
from
be-
Maine. Come on.
I'd be happier
no
than a pig
more.
in shit if I had a Sting hoodie. I'm just saying, merch god,
Right?
you know.
And the last place you can find our merch as of right now is you can find our merch on Instagram as well. And
Yes.
Kirby, you'll probably kill me if I don't get this right, but I believe it's at TRWT_merch. I believe.
so.
And if that doesn't
I'm
work,
still
take
learning
the
that
take
one.
the
Sorry,
take the,
Curbs.
take the underscore out, put everything together. I don't know. She's not getting back, man.
No, you're right. You're right. It is TRWT_.
Underscore merch.
All right, there it is.
I've been trying to learn that one because Kirby just made it, and you know,
Yep.
it's the newest of our flock, so I'm trying to get it memorized.
Mhm.
All right, and the the 800th and final one
I don't know how many
is YouTube. You can find us on YouTube. Go on there, look up Fox Den Productions. We are on there. We have all our episodes. And hit the click the like button, the subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we got something going up,
Right.
when we go live, or if we put up anything that we've already recorded.
Even if you're watching a video, look down in the right hand corner. There's a little Fox Den logo. Hit that. It'll ask you to subscribe. Hit that, and you're in. It's just bip bip done.
Yep. Or
That simple.
that's it.
Because I made it that way.
Wendy. Hey, Wendy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you're not watching us on and if you are watching us on YouTube and you have no idea about our audio podcast, Wendy's going to
Wendy.
tell you where you can find those.
Yes. Hey,
You
Instead
can
of just
find
saying Wendy.
us.
Wendy.
The iron sheet distracted me, but I'll post it on the page so y'all will see why he distracted me. You can find us.
To be
on
fair.
To be fair.
Shush you.
Allegedly.
Will mute.
I love it. You can find us on anchor.fm/TRWT. From there, you can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts, whether it's Stitcher, iHeartRadio.
No.
Put a pin on that one. Stitcher,
save that one for me.
Apple, Spotify. That's what I was thinking of. If you look
Spotify.
iHeartRadio, you have to actually physically search for us
Yes.
on iHeartRadio. But wherever you listen to your podcast, that's where you'll find us.
Everywhere. Even
Everywhere.
places I've never,
like we say in DC.
even
Everywhere,
places
Mo.
I've never heard of. Like if y'all use like the Podcaster app or Bullhorn or anything, we got like dozens of platforms, and a lot of them I ain't never even heard of, but they're all on our Anchor page except iHeartRadio. You have to actually go to iHeartRadio and search for Top Rope, but you will find us.
You'll find
a lot
us.
of people have, so shout out to them because I keep seeing like a big chunk of our audience in now 13 different countries.
What?
To
Are you for real?
We are Top Rope International.
International.
We've gone global.
We
for
have.
real. Like people in Ireland, Argentina, all these countries. I'd have to pull them up to give you all of them. There's at least
please post this on the page so we know where we're being listened to.
I will put up a screenshot of it when I get a chance.
I'm legitimately mind blown.
We
right
are
now.
straight up. I forgot to tell these guys before the show because I looked at it, and we are officially international. Like
I don't speak too many other languages, but I speak Spanish, so I can say muchas gracias.
Like even my people in Italy, like buonasera, you know, like my paisan, like
if somebody out there speaks French, merci beaucoup.
That's because my Irish family over there drinking a pint for me.
I love it. My people in Italy are just sipping wine, listening to me, and like,
doing a lot of the limoncello.
I feel like I'm coming home, you know, like
prosciutto.
You know, yeah.
Cannot forget. Peter's right. We cannot forget our brothers in England,
and of course the UK, because like
Britannia
and Hope and all them. We got people in Mexico. We got people everywhere. Like we are freaking international, guys. I can't thank all of you listeners and followers and subscribers enough for actually making three schmucks like us an international sensation. What the fuck?
This is pretty freaking cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. Muchas gracias.
For real, like I'm more choked up than like when Taker was on his knee and Paul Bearer and all that. Like, you guys, like, seriously.
Muchos gracias.
So close. I failed Spanish 4 times, and I know that's wrong.
Did I get an A for effort?
Oh, hey, we cannot forget our brothers in Chile.
Yes.
Chile.
Before I get in trouble.
Last but not least, I'm sorry, guys. I know we went in on this one, and I apologize, but there was a lot to talk about. Last but not least, we are working on something. Bruce and Wendy and I talked about it, and we've been discussing it in the background. And I think he's still in the chat. So we are working on a best and worst of 2020 series with Felipe. So be on the lookout towards the end of this month for the Top Rope or just flat out Superplex. Top Rope meets Felipe and Suplex, the #1 podcast in all of Chile. We'll get more members of the CWO in. We'll have a show. We'll talk about the best of everything. Then we'll have another show. We'll talk about the worst of everything because that's Felipe's tradition. And if we're going to do a crossover, we got to bring his stuff in too.
We got to do it right. Baby.
We got to do it up.
That's
like Clark Street did with us. Like they let us do our intros, played our music. They did some Keep It or Kill It's. They didn't come through.
I tried to do the intro.
That's all right. I had you. Ask Wendy. As soon as you dropped out, I was like, all right, take 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. My guys got us.
Seamless. That's why we're tag champs, man. I got your back. You were all fucked up. I hit the hot tag. I just jumped in and started kicking
tag, son.
Exactly. So again, thanks to everybody who's watching us live. Thank you to everybody who's listening to us internationally. Thank you to everybody that goes back and watches these videos. Please, if you haven't subscribed, share this stuff around too. I know we don't share that. We don't say that enough. Share this stuff around so other people can get to know us, can know we're here, know what we're about, and maybe
give us
get
likes, give us reviews, give us all the stars, all of it. Give us all the comments,
and we will
subscribe
use
everywhere.
All of it.
Do all the sharing. Share it with your friends, your mom, your boss. After you give them a suck it, share it with everybody. Share it with your dad who went out for smokes in 2001 and finally returned. Share it with everybody.
I love that Sting meme.
That was a
Oh
great
my
Sting
God.
meme. Thank you, Dom. Thank you for getting the Sting
No
meme.
problem. Thank Clark Street. They're the ones that busted
Oh,
it
Clark
out.
Street, you
I
guys, that
just
was
shared
a
it.
funny meme.
I was like, yo, you got it. That's yeah. Shout out to Clark Street. Thanks again for the crossover. We love you guys. We will be doing that again. That's all we have for this week. Thank you so much. Everybody stay safe out there. Wear your mask. Don't be a Loki. And above all,
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Damn straight.
fucking right. Let's get up out of here, y'all. Peace.
Nice.
Burberry scars, shrimp and Perry on, living like a comet, moving amongst the stars. $100,000 sports cars, silk massage, menage a trois. Yes, I've been a boss. Burberry scars, shrimp and Perry on, living like a comet, moving amongst the stars. $100,000 sports cars, silk massage, menage a trois. Yes, I've been a boss.
Night, y'all.